We welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season Number 4 race from the Kansas Speedway. And we're live in Kansas City, Kansas tonight. And we're back 2 races before the playoffs. And we'll kick off tonight race number 17 of Season Number 4 for the Cup Series. It happens at Kansas Speedway. And we're live here on the channel in Kansas. And this is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series live from, of course, the Kansas Speedway. So, last 2 seasons, this track was hosting the championship race. Of course, now that's changed to the second to last race of the regular season. So, still looking to be making good memories tonight. So, in the warm-up session, I'll be going over your race info, the playoff bubble, really close, and a lot more here in this warm-up session at Kansas Speedway. Like I said just before, just 2 races to go before the playoffs. So this is when it all gets close. Tonight in Kansas and then in Daytona for the regular season finale. It's the final non-super speedway of the season as well, which is definitely important because Daytona, anything could happen. You never know what could go on there. Just one quick second, we'll be live in a minute. Car is going to be on the racetrack here for the warm-up session at Kansas Speedway. This is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series live in Kansas. Car's gonna just be on track now. Quick second. All right. Of course, cars right now currently pulling on to the racetrack for this warm-up session here in Kansas. Lots up for grabs. We're about to be live in about 30 seconds from Kansas Speedway tonight. This is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series live from Kansas City, Kansas. And we welcome you in. From the track that hosted the Cup Series and Xfinity Series championship races the last 2 seasons. Of course, that all changes this season. Now hosting just a normal end of regular season race. All right, here we go. Cars on the racetrack here from Kansas Speedway. First one down the front straightaway. That's the 36 of William Reagan. New paint scheme for him this week as he heads down the front stretch back into 1 and 2. Final mile and a half of the regular season. There is 71 of Cole Clausen as well. And here's your winner from last week, Matthew White, in that 7 car. Oh, and the wall he goes. Took a pretty good shot there and has to actually slow it down. And there goes Reagan spinning down the back straightaway. Here comes Connor Asbell on the racetrack. Of course, 1 win this season happened in Fontana. Like we know earlier in the year, it's been pretty a terrible season after that. He's got a good finish last week in Richmond. Pulls onto the racetrack on that 72 car. He's had good speed all around the season, but currently it's way out of the playoff cut line and could be eliminated entirely from contention tonight. So speaking of the playoffs, let's take a look at your cut line entering today. So, of course, Matthew White, all he needs to do to lock up his regular season championship is just not have Cameron Chandler win the pole. He's literally 1 point away from doing that. Chandler, Puntiker, Miller, Banks, Bryce Benton, they're all locked into the playoffs. Then you got John Butler plus 57, he can lock himself in. Sean Hilkwich has a chance to lock in, he's plus 24 currently. Then you go back to only plus 13 for Trenton Wilkin, not completely safe. Plus 12 for Cole Clausen, not safe either. And then plus 4, Connor Haverhill. That battle has been insane in the cut line these last few weeks. He's only plus 4 after the amount of work he's done these last few weeks to get himself good finishes. Still only plus 4. And then you got Matt Grab just 1 point ahead of William Reagan. Then you got Payson Lane just minus 2. Andrew Stacy at minus 12. He's got some more work to do. And of course, Connor Asbell might be out of contention after tonight. 16th place in points, minus 16, or minus 28, I should say. Sorry about that, to the cut line. All right, and here comes Connor Asbell back into turns 3 and 4 in that 72 machine. And now down the front straightaway once again. Here is, that's the 18 of Maddox Beard. One of his select cup starts this season. Had a great run, great finish in Kansas last night. He's full-time in the Xfinity Series, of course. Here comes Trenton Wilkin around the outside. Like I said, only plus 13 to the good on the playoffs. He's had a good season. Currently sits second on the timing sheets. And there's the 09. That's John Butler currently in the pits. There is the 87 of Max DiFilippi. One of his part-time starts. He's made a lot of them as of late. Car spinning down the back straightaway. There goes the 7-1 of Cole Clausen. And this car has this paint scheme, I should say, has a great story behind it. So, of course, Cole Clausen, as you know, your Season 2 Cup Series champion. We all know Culpgate that happens back in Kansas in season number 2 for the championship. Of course, Cole Clausen was then awarded the championship in that same exact paint scheme. So, and Braden Hunsaker had it taken away from him. So I don't think Braden's going to actually maybe love that paint scheme this week. Here is Ronan Suarez down the back straightaway, actually in his Cup Series debut tonight. Had a plan to debut in Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. Ultimately, that deal fell through, but he's here tonight, down the front straightaway. And that number 31. 22 minutes to go. There's Matthew White on pit road. There's the 96 of Andrew Stacy, of course. Enters just above, just below the playoff cut line, of course, minus 13, I believe. And here's Braden Hunsaker, your Brickyard 400 winner of the season. Has 2 other wins as well. And led down the front back straightaway here. So also the battle for more spots all around the playoffs, or I should say the top spots. So Braden Hunsaker still has a chance at second on the points, of course. First, second, and third will get 15, 10, and 5 playoff points at the end of the regular season. Miller, he will be out of contention, I think, after tonight if he doesn't score enough for fourth. So kind of a battle for second most realistic. Maybe a battle for fourth between Dylan Banks and Ashton Miller. Bryce Benson just 2 below Banks as well. Here's Braden Hunsaker back into 3 and 4. And that's the 81 of Sean Hilquich. Up the racetrack goes the 96 at Andrew Stacy, and here comes Matthew White off of turn number 4. 71 with Cole Clausen. Here is the 8. That is Cameron Chandler, new Mountain Dew paint scheme for this weekend. Well, looking pretty good for Cameron. And down the front stretch she will go in that 8. Side by side now, Ashton Miller clearing Connor Avrilla. Ashton Miller, he's had a really good season. Does the second most top 10s of anyone in the Cup Series this year. But still looking for that first win. Been such a long time coming for him. Here's Ethan McMillan on the racetrack in that 70 for MNF Racing. Team owner, or teammate to Cole Clausen. Back on a 1 and 2 they go. Here at Kansas. There's the 7, that's Matthew White. Here's the 71 of Cole Clausen again. Oh, Wilkin got a spin and gets slammed by Cole Clausen. And Clausen gonna come down. There's Ronan Suarez currently on pit road. As Connor Aswell going to get loose here off corner exit and spin into the wall hard. Oh, as now Braden Hunsaker comes around and hit him again. So far, though, Matthew White, top of the board by about a 10th. Over Trent Wilkin, Andrew Stacy, P3 on the timing sheet so far, really good. Start from him. Hunsaker 4th, Cole Clausen P5. We know how good the MNF Racing cars are here at Kansas, and Cole Clausen and Ethan McMillan is probably one of their stronger racetracks. Here's Sean Hilquich. He's had a really good cars last few weeks. This week looks to be no different. Currently 6th on the board. Trying to keep it out of that wall. Here comes John Butler in the 09 down the front straightaway. And back in a 1 and 2. For John, Trenton Wilkin in the 12 down the back stretch. He goes. Same thing with the 8 of Cameron Chandler. There's Ashton Miller in the 79 car. Making his way off turn number 4. All right. About 18 minutes still to go. Well, not even halfway in this warm-up session. Here from Kansas. Once again to 3 and 4. There's Connor Avrilla in the 50. Of course, we talked about him just +3 over the playoff cut line, 11th in points. And that playoff cut line is so close, it's going to be probably all close to the end, heading to Daytona next week. Hunsaker now goes 2nd on the timing sheets. here in that 77 car. Down the back straightaway goes Jacob Lorino. Highlight of this season, finished second in the Brickyard 400. What a run that was for the driver of the 33. Chandler Wilson Racing. Across the line he will go to start a lap. Connor Aswell again. Here comes the 99 of Payson Lindsay, like we documented. Now just -2. He's done good work over the last few weeks to get back into the playoff picture. -2 to the cut line. But still has got to have a good night in Kansas today and then a great night in Daytona if he wants to make these playoffs. He won Daytona last season for the regular season finale. Of course, he made the playoffs then. Lorino second on the board. What great pace that 33 has. Here comes Chandler. Clausen down the backstretch. There's I almost said Jacob for some reason. Sean Hillquich. All right. About 16 minutes, almost halfway to this warm-up session here at Kansas. Oh, spinning down there. That's William Reagan going around. Okay, so of course still a little bit of time to go here. These drivers to get all settled in. Here comes Reagan 36 back on track. There's Connor Havrilla as well. Comes Havrilla back off the final corner and down the front straightaway, powering it again. Cole Clausen there in the 71. Of course, currently 11th on the timing sheets. He's got to have a good day tonight if he wants to keep that advantage over the cut line. Got more comfortably. Finished top 5 in Kansas in that strategy-filled, or Kansas, Richmond last week in that strategy-filled race. And he's going to take a hard hit into the wall down the back straightaway. Of course, 134 laps tonight. Halfway break going to be at the end of lap 67, just as usual for mile and halves in the Cup Series. Nothing changes there. But only 2 races before the playoffs. It's crunch time in the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series. We've got an off week next week, so we won't have any on-track action besides maybe lobbies, which also return tomorrow night. And then in 2 weeks, we head to Daytona for the regular season finale. That's going to be one to watch halfway through this warm-up session now in Kansas. Chandler goes third on the board. Oh, of course, Cameron has to win the pole tonight for his championship hopes, regular season championship hopes to stay alive. He's got to win the pole, win the race, win the stage, get 0x in both tonight at Kansas and Daytona if he wants the chance to get the regular season championship away from Matthew White. So, I mean, that's obviously either easier, said than done. We'll see what he can do. Matthew can lock it up after qualifying. Here comes Bryce Benton down the back straightaway. New paint scheme this week on board. That's Fanta. Nice looking orange machine here for Bryce. 2 Team Chevy Motor Club cars have sodas on board. Of course, Mountain Dew with Cameron Chandler, now Sprite with Bryce Benton. Bryce Benton, of course, started off the season so well, was third in the points for a while, almost up to P2 for a little bit, now falling to 6th in his last few weeks after his suspension, of course, most notably after Watkins Glen. Team Chevy Motor Club looks very strong so far. They are currently 3rd, 4th, and 6th on the timing sheet. Back into 3 and 4 goes Benton. Oh, and the wall he goes, and now going to spin down this backstretch. Or, I don't know why I just call it the backstretch, it's the front stretch. Here's Andrew Stacy back on track. There's the 8th of Cameron Chandler. Oh, and you got Rodriguez crashing ahead of him. Chandler going to go for a bit of a spin, and oh, he's going to take him. Oh, my God, he's on his lid. Does a little bit of a 360 midair and actually goes back on his wheels. Here's Ashton Miller cutting it down to the apron. got to talk about the race we had last night in the Xfinity Series. I'm going to actually try to find him real quick. There he is. Cameron Chandler got the win there. He also won iCar, so he's looking for a weekend sweep. And another thing with the iCar win, every single iCar win in this season that they've had, they've gone on to win the Cup race. Matthew White and Brandon Leesinger. See if Cameron Chandler can do that tonight. There goes Hilkwich going around. But, of course, the finish we saw last night, unbelievable side-by-side photo finish between Michael Gregory and Cameron Chandler. Actually going to see Michael Gregory in tonight's Cup race. Cameron Chandler has one more scheduled start in the Xfinity Series this season. Of course, your maximum is 8. He'll be at that 8. That one more scheduled start in Daytona, or Dover, I should say, towards the end of this year. He'll be in the booth with me for the rest of the races other than that. There's Andrew Stacy. There's Connor Aswell as well. Here comes Cameron Chandler. Oh, spinning down the back straightaway is Ethan McMillan. He'll hit the wall a little bit. Here's the 11er Rodriguez back into 3 and 4. For full time with Giesbert Racing Management. Let me see here. He currently sits outside of even the playoff thing I'm looking at, so he's out of contention for the playoffs. He's officially eliminated, so looking to finish off his regular season strong. All right. Okay, so once again, 10 minutes to go here in this warm-up session at Kansas. There's Sean Hilkwich in the 81, heading for 3 and 4. Oh, and he'll spin. Around goes Hilkwich. Also got Payson Lindsay going through the grass a little bit. Here comes the 27. That's Michael Gregory. Has one other Cup start this season. Was at Fontana, way earlier in the year. Actually ran pretty decently. Of course, finished second. Photo finish in the Xfinity race last time. We know he has really good speed here at Kansas, obviously. What can he do tonight? There he is on the almost wall a little bit for Jake Clarino. Here comes Andrew Stacy in the 96 off the final corner. Oh, Cole Clausen gets a little bit of sideways, and he'll go in the wall pretty decently. Hard hit there for Cole. All right. Oh, and he gets destroyed by the 11 of Diego Rodriguez. So Cole Clausen and Max DiFilippi actually, of course, they've been involved in some controversy as of late these last few weeks, most notably at Indianapolis in the Cup race a few weeks ago. I heard that they actually talked it out after last night's Xfinity race, where they got into another thing where Cole wasn't very happy on the move Max put on him. Hopefully that's all sorted out now. We move on from that old weird controversy that's going on between those two. Here comes Payson Lindsay down the back straightaway, back into 3 and 4 as well. Here's Cameron Chandler up the racetrack. There goes Sean Hilkwich, spinning in the grass. Can actually get to it. He's gone. Now there's Payson Lindsay coming down to pit road. Also got 96. That's Andrew Stacy going around. Lindsay gonna come to his pit box, or one of the pit boxes, I should say. Up pit road. I think that's Dylan Banks. It is Dylan Banks. I don't know where his number is on the 48. Other paint schemes aren't working, so I'm just going to refresh the schemes real quick. Right, Max DiFilippi is supposed to be in Menard's car, so for some reason he's in his body armor paint scheme that he's ran the last few weeks. So let's see if that fixes this. Nope, it doesn't. Right. Training paint's not really cooperating. Anyways. Oh, in the wall hard there. Gets it. There's Bryce Benson in the 9, slamming into the fence. Of course, unfortunately, I'm going to be alone in the booth tonight. Cole Clausen is not going to be able to do in-race reporting. Eli Franklin, who's joined me in the booth a few times this season, isn't going to be in the booth tonight, so it'll be just me. But still should hopefully have a pretty fun show in Kansas. 7 or so minutes to go in this warm-up session. Ooh, hard on the wall goes Trenton Wilkin, who's currently 7th on the timing sheets. Gotta be really, really impressed by Jacob Clarino, currently in 2nd here in practice. There's Michael Gregory off turn number 4 again, and back down the front straightaway. He is currently 17th on the board, the driver of the 27. There's the 18 of Maddox Beard. He'll go around off turn number 2, and he's going to take a big shot into the fence. Rodriguez, 3 other cars as well. Here comes Lindsay on track there. That's the 31 of Ron and Suarez. There's the 9 of Bryce Benton, back into 1 and 2. Alright, so just about 6 minutes or so to go here at this warm. Oh, God, Bryce Benton slams into the wall. Ahead of the 99 of Lindsay. There's the 71 of Cole Clausen as well. There is Suarez again. Alright. There's Connor as well, Max D. Filippi as well. There we go. There's Cole Clausen. Oh, big shot to the wall. My God. All right, just about 6 minutes still to go here in this warm-up session in Kansas. Final mile-and-a-half race of the regular season. Just 2 races to go before the playoffs. This next 2 weeks in Daytona is your regular season finale. Top 10 so far. You got Matthew Wood, of course, top of the board by about half 10th of the board. Jacob Clarino has had such an impressive session so far. Currently 3rd is Cameron Chandler. He needs to win the pole to keep his regular season championship hopes alive somewhat. So obviously he'll need to do a lot more than that. Literally has to score max points in both Daytona and tonight in Kansas, and Matthew Wood has to go scoreless for him to win the regular season championship by 1 point. Seems very unrealistic, but anything could happen. Lindsay 4th on the board now. He's been doing pretty good in the session. Hunsaker P5. Benton, Wilkins, Suarez, Maddox Beard, and John Butler round out the top 10. All right. Here's Cole Clausen back at a 1 and 2. Connor Asbell again, heading for turns 3 and 4. Suarez as well in 31. There's Braden Hunsaker, Cameron Chandler, 2 other drivers heading down the front stretch. Oh, spinning around is the 87 of Di Filippi. We'll go for a slide. Bryce Benton, that's Cole Clausen in the 71 car. So a few cars we actually haven't seen on track yet. There's the 99 Lindsay currently in the pits. 4 minutes to go here in this warm-up session. Qualifying coming up next, of course, for the pole. 2 laps as usual. Actually, it'd be down to 1 lap for the first time ever next week in Daytona, because super speedways only do have 1 lap of qualifying. And there goes Connor Asbell into the wall. So fuel window, you definitely have to pit. If it goes green to the end of the stage, you're definitely going to have to make a green flag pit stop. You have to pit in the first half no matter what. Maybe 20 or so laps short. Me predicting. 4 sets of tires in the pits. Kansas, for the Cup Series, isn't the biggest tire-wearing racetrack of all time. Tires still could be important tonight. Not going to be as important as Richmond last week. My goodness. Oh, as Michael Gregory just gets destroyed by Sean Hillquich. We saw, of course, in Richmond a week ago how important tires were there, like they always are. So a lot of cars currently on pit road here. 3 minutes to go in this warm-up session. There goes the 9 of Brian Spenton way up the racetrack into turns 3 and 4 and back down the front stretch. All right, here comes the 99 of Lindsay off the final corner, nearly in the wall a little bit, and back down the front stretch he goes. More cars still in the pits. About 2 minutes or so to go in this warm-up session at Kansas. Ooh, in the wall, that's Richard Cherry. I don't know why he's in the 79 car. It's actually the 29 car. I don't understand why the number font says that. He's heading back into 1 and 2. Had a good night in Xfinity last night in Kansas. He needs just 1 more point to lock up that regular season title, so we'll see if he can do it. He'll obviously be able to do it, I'm assuming, next week in Daytona, because Cole Wilson, I should say, has to score max points to even have a chance at it. Here's Trenton Wilson up the track through 1 and 2. Oh, and he's going to go around. No, he will not. It seems like turn 2 is the big struggle spot we've seen. A lot of cars get loose off there. See if John Butler does it this time. He's okay. So maybe the exit of turn number 2 is going to have to be a spot we watch out for tonight, especially on the top of the racetrack. Definitely cars. Yeah, again, there goes Hunsicker for a spin. Oh. And I'll go straight into the wall. This back straightaway wall has been hit a lot of times so far here in this warm-up session. Across the line goes Cherry. And yeah, cars don't look too stable all around so far. All right. Oh, and the wall goes Zane Rahman, and he'll go almost for a bit of a spin. Comes Dylan Banks. I don't know why. See if you can refresh it this time. Still in that PT. All right. Once again, practice, the warm-up session, going to run down to the end. We are done for the warm-up here at Kansas Speedway. And up next is qualifying from Kansas. All right, here we go. Time to strap in to win the pole. Who's going to do it tonight? We are just about ready to go in Kansas Speedway for qualifying for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Kansas Speedway tonight. Here we go. 2 laps for the pole position. Everyone going to be going for it. Pole is awarded a bonus point, and this could decide your regular season championship. So if Cameron Chandler isn't on pole here, Matthew White will be your season number 4 in NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series regular season champion no matter what. He'll lock it up. Here we go. Pole position awarded a bonus point. That's the reason for that. Cameron Chandler does win the pole, then that means it'll go to at least the stage. That battle. Felipe here slow. Here comes Braden Hunsicker down the front stretch. So cars beginning to start their lap times. Hunsicker heading back into 1 and 2 in that 77 car. 3 wins this season. All came pretty interesting circumstances. Didn't really dominate any of his races that he won. Down the backstretch he'll go. There's the 31, that's Ronan Suarez. There's 96, that injures Stacy. Back into 3 and 4. Here's Ashton Miller across the line to start his lap. Andrew Stacy first car over the line for a lap. Hunsicker now fastest. Here comes Lindsay down the back straightaway. Haverhill a third. Suarez is second. Early times, though, still a lot of heavy hitters to go. Here comes Pace and Lindsay across the line. Butler is P3. Cherry 8th, McMillan 9th, Lindsay now 5th on lap 1. We'll see if lap 2 brings improvements. Here's Connor Asbell. There's the 50th Haverhill. I believe he's done. He is 4th. Here comes Jacob Clarino across the line. Best finish of the season of 2nd at Indianapolis. Braden Hunsicker down the back straightaway. He's currently top of the board. Matthew White just backed it down. He's only 6th. Here in qualifying, he's usually on pole for a lot of these races. Such a good qualifier. Definitely by far the best we have in NASCAR iRacing FedEx Leave on qualifying. Hilquich 4th. Still yet to go. Cameron Chandler and Matthew White's not on pole, so gives him a little bit of a chance. But he has to win the pole position here to keep it alive. Oh, and Hilquich going to go around and he'll spin. He's 4th, though. Good starting spot so far for him. Here comes Cameron. Like I said, has to be on pole, no matter what. Or he's out and will not be your regular season champion. What is it going to be? He backs it down. It's only 10th, and that means Matthew White is the Season 4 NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series regular season champion. It's official. White wins his record 3rd regular season title. What a job well done for the driver with 4 wins this season. Hunsicker currently, though, on provisional pole. Here's Bryce Benton across the line. Still some heavy hitters to go. Wilkin as well. Dylan Banks, another one. Braden Hunsicker there on the 77 provisional pole right now. Here's the 18 of Maddox Beard. That one is Zane Romine heading through 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Oh, he's going to go on the wall here. Here's Michael Gregory, finished 2nd in a photo finish. Bryce Benton, top of the board. What a lap by the 9. Gregory is 16th. Dylan Banks just backed it down. Banks is 9th. Here's Maddox Beard across the line. Beard currently in the bottom 20. Wilkin now coming onto the racetrack. I don't believe he has a lap time down just yet. He's, yes, currently yet to go. Got 40 seconds to remain here. I don't know. It's going to be really close to see if he has enough time. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about this one. Trent Wilkin. That obviously wasn't a fast lap. See what this lap brings. If he has enough, even has enough time to finish it. Here comes Zane Roman back on a 1 and 2. Ooh, he's a little bit loose there off turn number 2, like they have been a lot. But currently, Bryce Benton on provisional pole. The only one realistically going to be able to do that is the 12 Wilkin. Through 3 and 4 he goes. Does not want to start outside the top 20. Got about 10 seconds to finish his lap. It's clicking down. Can he make it? Coming to the line. It's going to be really, really close. 2. I think he got it barely when the time expires. My God, that was close. And he's 2nd. That was important. Trenton Wilkin will start P2, and Bryce Benton on pole here in Kansas. Wilkin, which is not even a second to spare, goes from outside the top 20 to P2. And we'll start on the front row with the 9, Bryce Benton on pole in Kansas. And like we said, Cameron Chandler is your... Matthew White. I don't know why I just said Cameron Chandler. Matthew White, he'll start 9th in this race, a little bit lower than we usually see him start. But he is still your regular season champion in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series for season number 4. And we welcome you live to Kansas. What an intense qualifying session that was. It all comes down to this at Kansas Speedway. Let's one more time take a look at your playoff grid entering tonight. Of course, White now officially lock up the regular season title. Of course, Connor Haverhill +4. You got William Reagan -1 below the playoff cut line. Pace and Lindsay -2. They need to score tonight. Andrew Stacy down there -12. And of course, Connor Asbell -28 to the cut line. All right. This is Kansas. 2 races to go before the playoffs. This is where it all gets intense. Everyone fighting for a playoff spot here tonight in the Cup Series. about great starting spot. Ron Suarez in 4th. That is fantastic for the driver of the 31. This is Kansas in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Just waiting now on Pace and Lindsay to spot in. He's holding everybody up for some reason. Average Pace and Lindsay, there he is. All right, here we go from Kansas tonight. This is the Cup Series live in Kansas. We are just about ready to go racing. So, of course, on pole, Bryce Benton in the 9 wins the pole. To his outside, going to be Trent Wilkin, just with not even 1 second to go, able to make that time stick. 3rd, Hunsaker. Suarez, career starting spot 4th. Really good starting spot for John Butler, P5. Hillquist, Chavarilla, Lindsey White, and Dylan Banks round out your top 10. Then go on back, 20th, and then the rest of the field rolling across the left side of your screen. Got to talk about the beef that was last week between Dylan Banks and Matthew White. Will that continue tonight? We'll have to wait and see. All right, as they roll up to the back of the grid behind them. We're going to come to check pit road speed this time by before we go green. This is Kansas. Bryce Benton on pole position. Beautiful Fanta car for him this week. Looking for that first career when he came. Last time he ran up front, good at 1.5 miles, was in Chicago, and very, very similar to this racetrack here in Kansas. Just came up short there. What will tonight bring as they come down to check pit road speed? And check their pit boxes like usual. 134 laps, like usual, at the 1.5 miles here in the Cup Series. Halfway break going to be at the end of lap 67. Points will be awarded to the top 10, like usual. And Matthew White already after qualifying, because Cameron Chandler isn't on pole, he'll lock up the regular season title. It's coming to 1 to go till the green flag. Of course, Chuscon going to be down the front stretch like usual. Nothing out of the ordinary there. We're just about ready to go at Kansas Speedway. Side by side they head with 1 to go to the start of this race. Down to the back straightaway. Bryce Benton and Trent Wilkins starting in the front row. Surprisingly, Cameron Chandler all the way back to 13th. Of course, had to win the pole to keep his regular season title hopes alive, and that will obviously not happen. 2 races to go before the playoffs. The playoff battle sees William Reagan, who is starting in 17th, just -1 to the playoff cut line. Can he do something? Can Peyton Lindsay, who's -2, do something? It's all up for grabs with 2 regular season races to go. Pace car is in. Benton Wilkin will lead the field to the green. We are underway in Kansas. Three wide through the middle. Here comes Hunsaker. Initial start of the race, looking to take the lead as they head back into 1. Side by side for the opening spot. Down the back stretch they go. They door slam each other. Door to door. Hunsaker around the outside, Chavarilla up to 3rd as well. Side by side back into 3 and 4 they go. Benton on the inside lane. He'll clear Hunsaker, and he's going to lead lap 1 in Kansas. Hunsaker, though, trying to fight back. Chavarilla there, up to P3 already. They head back into 1 and 2. Wilkin to the bottom, lost a couple spots now, back to 4th. Matthew White there on the bottom. John Butler, Cameron Chandler trying to follow in behind them. Chandler gaining spots, so is White. Dylan Banks falling way back to 15th, where he started inside the top 10. Chandler way up the racetrack as well, of course. He won last night's Xfinity race, looking to sweep the week after winning iCar as well. Get a big run around the outside on John Butler. We come to lap 3 in Kansas. Chandler, one of the only ones ripping boards. Same thing with Connor Chavarilla there in the 50. Oh, Braden Hunsaker gets loose there off turn number 2. Side by side, they go down the back straightaway between Cameron Chandler and John Butler. Sean Hillquist there in the 81 trying to make something happen. Cameron Chandler, he is loose. Cameron's going around into the wall hard. He collects Sherry. Big crash happening. Lindsay's involved. Caution's going to come out. Into the wall goes Rodriguez. Cole Clausen involved. Cameron Chandler loses it all by himself and destroys multiple cars. My goodness. Cherry's got huge damage. Rodriguez involved. What was he doing? Ramon has damage. That is the driver's second in points. Cameron Chandler, one of the best drivers in the Cup Series, just lost it all by himself. Let's take a look. I don't understand how that happens. Cameron Chandler there on the outside of John Butler. I mean, gets loose into the entry of 3 and 4 and then just overcorrects, can't save it. Hooks Cherry, hooks Lindsay, and they all crash ahead of him. Oh, Rodriguez, Cole Clausen both took pretty good hits there. Let's ride along here with the 29 of Richard Cherry. My God, what was that with Cherry here? Just loses it all by himself. Not something we see Cameron Chandler do at all. Cherry took a pretty hard hit. Pace and Lindsay most notably ahead of him. Oh, he gets slammed by Rodriguez there. Saint Germain got a little bit of a piece of it. Let's run along with the 1 car here through this accident. See what he sees. In the back, behind Connor Asbell here, who finally got through an accident, Connor. Just, I don't know what he was doing. It picked completely wrong. That made no sense. And then here comes Cherry on back just to add insult to injury. Wow. Let's look from the blimp where Cameron Chandler just loses it all by himself on the opening laps of this race. Just coming out, yeah, gets loose in the entry of 3 and 4 and just can't hang on to it. Overcorrects, which ultimately kills everything. And Pace and Lindsay, we saw ahead of him take a pretty good hit. We'll ride along with the 99 car here to see how he got through this accident. You're riding with Lindsay. Cameron just can't save it. Oh, Lindsay gets hit by the 17 or 29 of Cherry. Into the wall he goes. Another big shot. Going to be wheel damage for sure. Wow. What a start in Kansas. Cameron Chandler all by himself just loses it. He's on the racetrack now. Ashton Miller got some damage, of course, as well. There is Rodriguez. Pretty good shot for him. Zane Ron currently a lap down. Rodriguez currently 2 laps down. We only got 1 to go. The choose just happens. Obviously, a lot of replays we have to go through. So we're going to come to the restart here on lap 7. Cameron Chandler, of course, loses it all by himself. He's got big damage. That's going to affect him throughout the rest of this race. Huge story early on in Kansas. Big playoff updates as well. And how about William Reagan, who entered tonight -2? He's up from 17th place to 8th already. Had a fantastic restart and made his way through the chaos. And we'll restart here in lap 7. Early on pit road is Rodriguez. He has pretty significant damage. And we're going to come back to the green flag. Benton, Hunsicker on the front row. We're back to green in Kansas. Good restart for Bryce Benton there. Now Hunsicker around the outside doesn't get going. The outside was pretty terrible last night in the Xfinity race. So they're going to head back on a 1 and 2 side by side. There's the 50 of Connor Haverhill to the inside of Braden Hunsicker. The racetrack goes to 77. Trenton Wilkin back there. Matthew White down low. Oh, Haverhill going to lose it all by himself. Hopefully he saves it. Yes, he does. We'll stay green. Matthew White to the inside and clearing Trenton Wilkin. Amarillo, they're going to lose multiple spots, though. That is not what he wanted to see in the playoffs. Here we go, side by side, John Butler and Maddox Beard. They start to pressure each other down the front straightaway. Now the 18 going to go around the outside. The 81 of Sean Hilquish, who just hit the apron a little bit. The track is definitely very slick early on. Ooh, Hilquish sliding up the racetrack. They're side by side down this backstretch. There's Dylan Banks looking to the inside of Jacob Clarino. iRacing completely just, I don't know what happened. Banks now clearing that 33 car. Not yet, actually. He's back around the outside lane. Side by side, Clarino now clearing Banks. Now here's the 96 of Andrew Stacy up the racetrack as well. Ethan McMillan racing back here in 13th. Benson has already pulled away by about 0.5 of a second. Ooh, there's pushing low is Cole Clausen. Connor Aswell looking through the middle. Here's Ethan McMillan, Clausen's teammate. Side by side between teammates back in a 1 and 2. There's Dylan Banks up the track as well. Payson Lindsay, or Andrew Stacy, I'm sorry, got a little bit loose. And the only one that's really trapped laps down is Diego Rodriguez, who got significant damage. He's been having terrible luck so far this season. Around the outside goes Dylan Banks to the wall, but battle for 11th place between him and Andrew Stacy. They'll head back into 1 and 2. Side by side here between Rana and Suarez, who started inside the top 5, and the 81 of Sean Hilquich battling for 7th place. To the inside goes Hilquich, and gonna get clear on the 31 of Suarez. Suarez now back to 8th place. He's got Jacob Clarino breathing down his neck as well. Ooh, Suarez has to back out of it. He got a little bit loose. He is slow in the bottom of the racetrack. Going to lose multiple spots here. There's Andrew Stacy coming around the outside of him. So he begins to struggle. These cars are looking looser than the Xfinity cars last night, which is honestly shocking. Suarez now to the inside of Ethan McMillan. Here's Cole Clausen, who was involved in an accident, actually repaired damage pretty nicely. He really doesn't lose too much pace. Side by side for about 13th place. Down the front straightaway again. Of course, drivers that were involved in those accidents probably hoping for a quick caution here coming up pretty soon so they can get more damage repaired. And they might have it. Ethan McMillan going to just get loose and hit the wall. Down the back straightaway, he has damage in that 70 machine. Right ahead, Vashton Miller. They're in that 79 car, of course, pitted. Back up front, the gap is extended to about 0.6 of a second between Bryce Bennett and Braden Hunsaker. Matthew White up to 3rd in that 7 car. Michael Gregory, I don't know what happened. He's currently on pit road. He has damage. My goodness. There's the 77 of Braden Hunsaker off turn number 4. He goes. Matthew White following in behind him. Trent Wilkinen 4th. How about Maddox Beard currently running in 5th? What a run by the driver of the 18, and John Butler running in P6 solidly. 3-car train, William Reagan just holding inside the top 10. Dylan Banks in 10th right now. Of course, Dylan Banks has great history here at Kansas Speedway. Won his Cup Series title here a season ago. Of course, won the race to go along with it. Move to the inside, battling with William Reagan, his affiliated teammate at Johnson Motorsports. And back on 1 and 2 here. Side by side, and here's Clarino and Sean Hilquich battling. Hilquich will clear Clarino just by a little bit, and they're side by side with William Reagan and Dylan Banks. Banks around that outside lane, looking to clear Reagan here. Off-corner exit. They're still, though, side by side, heading back down the front stretch. Good run, though, for Banks. He will clear the 36. As they head back into 1 and 2. There's Reagan up the racetrack again, the 36. Now yet Andrew Stacy looking to his inside. Hunsaker's beginning to run down Benson up front. Side by side, side drifting each other aggressively as they head back into 3 and 4. Stacy gonna slide up the racetrack nearly to the door of Reagan as they side draft each other down the front straightaway. Where's Ronan Suarez gonna make a move? How about Cole Clausen? Really good damage recovery. Currently inside the top 15. Stacy, ooh, clears Reagan, but not too nicely. He's gonna push the 36 down. Reagan almost went around, able to save it. What a great save by William. He's going to lose multiple spots now as Connor Asbell to his outside. Going to pass him for 14th place. so much aggressive racing. Here we go, side by side again between Colorino and Hilquich. They head back at a 1 and 2. Hilquich gets cleared by Colorino. He's back to 8th. Jacob Colorino inside the top 7 now. Ethan McMillan, he is a little bit of damage. Currently still holding on, though, inside the top 20 at least. There we go. Ashton Miller just passed Connor Havrilla. Havrilla now falling back to the hands of Zane Rahman. Then he got Richard Cherry and Cameron Chandler. They both had a little bit of damage battling for 20th. Cherry is loose. Same thing with Cameron. He has damage. There is Payson Lindsay running back there in 22nd. Payson Lindsay does not need to finish or even finish in the stage 22nd tonight. And there's your leader, Bryce Benton. Leads the lad at 19 laps so far. He's going to lead 20 this time by out front. Of course, started on pole. And looks very strong so far in Kansas. Matthew White all over the back bumper of his teammate, Braden Hunsicker, here for second. White, of course, already riding some good momentum. Locked up his regular season title with Cameron Chandler not winning the pole. A little bit further back, there's Dylan Banks, currently in 9th. Andrew Stacy in 10th. The racetrack, that was William Reagan, currently now battling for 14th place with Connor Asbell. Side by side, here's Zane Rahman. Just got around Ashton Miller. That one car looks pretty quick, up to 18th place. Now going to start the battle with Connor Havrilla here. To the inside he goes. For 17th in the final spot inside the points. And he will take that spot away. Three-way battle here for a points position. Havrilla, though, back around the outside here in the one of Rahman. Not making it go easily. He's trying to take 17th back away. Rahman falling back into the clutches of Ashton Miller. Battle more towards the front. Side by side here is Ronan Suarez and Andrew Stacy. Stacy, somebody blinks, I believe that was Suarez. They're side by side here, currently for 10th place. And Stacy up to P10. 3 ETR cars inside the top 5, or top 10, I should say. Here's Michael Gregory now, coming back on the racetrack 11 laps down. But he does have fresher tires than everybody else, so he should be a little bit quicker. Of course, Banks running in 9th. Hilquich's teammate right up the road in 8th. Wilkin, the other ETR car, in 4th place, beginning to run down Matthew White. So Wilkin, of course, had a terrible crash down the back straightaway here with Michael Gregory. Of course, Gregory, they were racing hard, and Gregory ultimately made contact with the one car last night in the Xfinity Series and sent Wilkin careening into the back straightaway wall. But currently runs 4th, and he's running very, very quick. Top 4 now separated by less than a second. Bryce Benton, though, still holding on to the lead, coming to lap 26 this time by. "25 laps complete here in Kansas. Bryce Benton has led them all. There is Maddox Beard continuing his fantastic day in 5th place. Really the ride that gets the drive that gets the attention of some full-time Cup Series contenders. Maybe full-time Cup Series team owners next season. Might move up. Marino now catching John Butler down the front straightaway for 6th place. Got a run coming down this backstretch. Jacob Marino has been so impressive in the Cup starts that he has done. In the Xfinity Series, he really hasn't had the pace. But in the Cup Series, all of a sudden, this race car suits him so nicely. He's ran inside the top 10 for a lot of their starts. Finished 2nd at Indianapolis this season for his career highlight. Side by side down the front straightaway between Ronan Suarez and Cole Clausen. Currently battling just outside the top 10 for 11th. Clausen around the outside doing a very solid job recovering from that damage he sustained in the earlier crash. We get inside the top 11 now. Of course, they do have to pit before the end of the stage here. We don't get a caution. Side by side here now between William Reagan and Connor Asbell. That is for 14th, I believe. Reagan gonna take 14th away from Connor Asbell. Side by side, back into 1 and 2. Here is Suarez, big set to the inside. They'll go back behind Cole Clausen. Oh, bit of a bump up there. There's William Reagan to the inside. Connor Asbell goes all the way down low. The lap car, the 27 on Gregory, involved as well. Asbell gonna slide way up the racetrack, nearly to the door. Has to lift a little bit to not hit William Reagan. Laps into Kansas. I wonder when this fuel window is going to be a topic of conversation. Reagan, of course, with a very bad blink in a spot you want to have a bit. He's going to get blocked all the way down low now. To the inside goes Reagan. Trying to take this spot away, side by side, and once again down the front straightaway. Big fight. Of course, Michael Gregory just trying to make it even more entertaining, not in the lead lap. And now, Asbell clear on Reagan. Reagan has slide up the racetrack ahead of Gregory. I don't understand why he's not backing up. He's currently 11 laps down. Got a car that was slow. I don't know what the 87 Di Filippi is doing. A huge moment all of a sudden. He is very, very slow. Through turns 3 and 4, you're going to 27 Gregory going on low run, and Suarez does a little bit of damage. I guess they were involved in a little bit of a scruff up ahead. Here's Gregory starting to rip the board. It's still kind of chaos all the way back here. Battle more towards the front. Dylan Banks up to 7th now around Sean Hillquich's teammate. Banks slowly but surely on the longer run, starting to gain some more speed. Here is the 18, that's Maddox Beard, currently running in 5th. Battle for 2nd is back on between teammates Braden Hunsicker and Matthew White. Matthew, he reeled him in a couple of times, then Braden pulled back away, and now it looks like Matthew is there on his bumper once again. But a car that was pitting, I believe that was Richard Cheery. Now goes 1 lap down. Payson Lindsay, I believe, was just on pit road. He's back on the racetrack. Here is Cheery. Oh, got a car spinning on the pits. That's running Suarez around. So green flag pit stops beginning the start. Maybe a little bit earlier than we would have thought. Running Suarez, he'll lose a bit of time from that. Cameron Chandler, he's really slow. He has more damage. My goodness, this is just a horrible, horrible night for Cameron Chandler so far. Here is Benton, back down the front straightaway to lead his 34th lap of the race. He has been dominant so far tonight. Here we go for 2nd. Matthew White to the inside of I was about to say Bryce Benton, Braden Hunsicker. Hunsicker going to barely clear his teammate back into 1 and 2. Highline Motorsports has been on fire as of late. There goes Hunsicker, almost goes around, was completely sideways. White, though, back to the inside. I wonder if you're going to take tires here on this pit stop. Matthew White is clear on Hunsicker, his teammate for 2nd. Oh, in the wall, Hunsicker is. Matthew White got a little bit loose. Car is slow down the front straightaway. That's Connor Havrilla off the pace. I don't know what's going on with him. Looks like he's back going. Full song again, I think. Hopefully he gets out of the way. He's going to now pull down low. Currently now 1 lap down. Suarez, of course, he pitted. Got other cars that pitted. We've got 3 or 4 cars that have visited pit road so far. Assuming Haverhill actually going to keep it on the racetrack now. We'll let Maddox Beard go around the outside. He's been struggling. This is not what he wants to see. But another good news for him, William Reagan down to 13th, Payson Lindsay 21st. They're all not in position to score stage points, which are the drivers that he is battling for the final couple of playoff spots with. And Andrew Stacy, though, runs 9th, so you never know. A lot of playoff bubble drivers having issues, most notably Payson Lindsay, now even Connor Haverhill. White now going to try to run down the 9 of Benson. Here is Cameron Chandler, of course, shocked the world by getting completely loose and causing wreck all by himself in the opening laps of this race. Collected about 5 or so cars. A lot of them had big damage, and he's one of them with the biggest damage. Might even fall a lap down here. Of course, some of your leaders have already visited pit road, so as you can see, currently trapped 2 laps down. Averillo lap down, Suarez 1 lap down as well. Benson and Chandler are teammates, but this is for the lead lap. We'll see if Chandler maybe just lets him go. Oh, he's going to be right in the wake of Benson. This will not help the 9 car. He'll have to move to the inside here. Can't get to the inside down the back straightaway. We'll see where he goes to the low side for 3 and 4. Chandler now goes 1 lap down. What a terrible night for Cameron Chandler. Right ahead and out the 7 of Matthew White. He'll lose all the time he gained, Matthew, on Benson. Probably down this front straightaway and back into 1 and 2. 40 laps into Kansas. 28 to go to the halfway break. You still got to see all your leaders coming to pit road for fuel and possibly tires before the end of the stage. Bryce Benton, he's been dominant so far tonight. Started on a pole, he's led every lap so far. Gonna finally get that first ever win. Been so close so many times, especially this season. Thinking back to Nashville, Chicagoland, finished P2, being so close at the end. It's tonight, I know it's still very early on in the race. Not even through this first stage, but it looks very, very quick. And of course, started on pole as well. Back in the field, there's Connor Asbell in the 72. Here's Dylan Banks beginning to run down the 09 of John Butler for 6th. And Banks is pitting. And his teammate Sean Hillquist going to follow in, so a couple of cars coming to pit road here. Got to be careful you don't speed. Oh, and Hillquist going to go sliding around into the pit wall a little bit. That is another thing you don't want to do. He came really hot right behind his teammate. It's definitely a risky move there and might hurt Sean Hillquist a little bit. He probably has some slight damage because of that. Here's Bryce Benton back off the final corner and down the front straightaway yet again. So 2 of your leaders just came to pit road. When will the next set of leaders come? Here's Cole Clausen. He's pitting. So get you to the end of the stage. Cole Clausen smokes up the tires a little bit there. Gotta hope he got the pit road nicely. Here comes Ashton Miller. He's gonna stay out. Benton, of course, still staying out, your leader. And I'll stay out once again. Looking back here, Matthew White still staying out. Trent Wilkin currently running in 4th. Highest running ETR car now that Banks is pitted. And now we got in the wall a little bit. Maddox Beard, he still had a fantastic day so far. So I actually have to check. I don't know if Banks took tires only or fuel only. Clausen here off pit road. It does maybe look like they're taking tires. Benton still staying out once again. No more of your leaders coming to pit road. Now he's got a battle here for 5th place going on between John Butler and the 18 of Maddox Beard. John Butler had terrible pace in Richmond. Good to see a little bit of a bounce back race tonight. He can lock himself into the playoffs after tonight, with 1 race to go in Daytona. Right ahead is Cameron Chandler, who has just had an abysmal day. Here is John Butler to the inside of the 18. Can't make anything happen, though. Cameron, of course, staying out, still there. Got a car pitting. That's Connor Havrilla. There's Andrew Stacy, his teammate. So 2 of the Clear High Racing cars coming to pit road. We'll see right here if, most notably, Stacy is going to take tires. Max DiFilippi in the 87 pitting. We got Sean Hillquist, who did pit before. Side by side here, big battle between Ashton Miller and William Reagan. Clausen in here, of course, just came to pit road. So Max DiFilippi pitting, Zane Rahman, his teammate. They are taking tires. Andrew Stacy getting tires here. He's going to be able to repair a little bit of damage. DiFilippi had to back up, so tires could be a factor here. We'll see if anyone doesn't take them. Here we go, battle for 5th. To the outside goes John Butler on that 18 of Beard. We'll see if the undercut is able to work out for drivers like Banks and Hilquich if they did actually end up taking tires. I know that's not going to be as extreme as Richmond's last week, but still could be a factor. Leaders still staying out. Top 5 at least. And they will continue to stay out. We've seen groups of teammates pit, so I wouldn't be one bit surprised to see Hunsaker and White both come at the same time. Benton doesn't have any Team Chevy Moto Club cars teammates that are here inside the top 10, so I don't really expect anything going on there. Ron and Suarez was already visiting pit road before. Here's DeFilippi back on the track, off of pit road. Of course, green flag pit stops are officially underway here in Kansas. White was a little around the outside, maybe looking to come this time. Can't do it though. Seeing Rahman as exiting pit road in the walk. Yeah, definitely fresh tires for DeFilippi catching Benson in the 9. Fresh tires do mean something here at Kansas tonight. Still this battle raging on for 5th between John Butler and Maddox Beard. John Butler on the outside. Beard is pitting in the 18. Here he comes. Now there is Dylan Banks and Connor Aswell battling for position. Actually, it's not for position, sorry. It is for good thanks to unlap himself. Aswell currently staying out. Here comes Beard, coming to the pits. Here we'll see if the 9, your leader, elects to pit. No, he will not. He's going to stay out again. Same thing with Matthew White. Same thing with Braden Hunsaker and Trenton Wilkin. And here comes Connor Aswell to pit road. Can easily bring it down to make sure he doesn't speed. Pretty solid there. Oh, he actually gets a little bit loose. Jacob Perino following behind him. He put it way early in the sequence. There behind Ashton Miller. Here comes your leader, Bryce Benson, and the 7 of Matthew White coming behind him. We should see Hunsaker. Matthew White really close to the gap. Braden pitting. White is to the inside of Matthew White. Or White is to the inside of the 9 of Benson. Wilkin going to stay out for now. John Butler as well pitting. So here come your leaders on to pit road. Great entry for Matthew White. Just going to have to hope he wasn't speeding. Here we go for the pit stop in the stage in Kansas. Oh, Benton overshoots his box. That's critical. Does not want to do that. 4 fresh Goodyear tires now. Maybe he'll think about 2. That's definitely a risky move. Here comes White. Matthew White and Braden Hunsaker. Hunsaker is going to win the race off pit road. Benson's going to be back to 3rd. Hunsaker going to get 2 spots here. Matthew White, though, around the outside trying to repass him. They're side by side, battling for what would be the lead. White going to pass Hunsaker off on the apron. We'll be right back in Kansas. Welcome back live here to Kansas Speedway. Sorry about that. Had a bit of an issue. Had to take care of real quick, but we're back live. So currently, there is Dylan Banks, your current lead over Matthew White. Of course, he has the undercut now after pitting earlier. But Matthew White on fresher tires, trying to run him down. We're only got about 11 to go to the halfway break. We'll see if the tire advantage is enough for Matthew to try to run Dylan Banks down. Benson just got around Hunsicker in the 77, who had an issue. He is back here now to 7th place. Braden Hunsicker, issue off pit road all of a sudden. White is running faster than Banks, trying to run him down for the stage win, but ultimately this is looking like it might be a neck gain for Dylan. 10 to go to the stage. Here's Jake Carino right ahead of them. So Wilkin has pitted as well, so everybody has mostly finished their green flag pit cycles. We have had a change in the field. How about William Reagan? I believe he has pitted. So we've said some undercuts, overcuts, some different strategies going on all around. And it leaves us with this to the stage. Dylan Banks currently your leader. And he's now in lap traffic here with Ashton Miller. And it looks like the 33 of Clarino. We'll go down to the inside of these two. Put them a lap down. Clarino in the wall in the 33. Right ahead of Ashton Miller and Matthew White. White going to go to the inside and get clear of this mess. Clarino really, really slow. I'm going to assume we would probably see some wave arounds. You would have to, at least. You got to get yourself back on the lead after and hope for a caution after that. Here's Benton way to the inside of the 79 of Miller. Get around him. So, of course, Benton had the lead before, then went too deep in his pit stall. That's definitely what cost him. Currently now in 3rd. Here we go for the lead. 8 to go to the halfway break in Kansas. Battle is on between Matthew White and Dylan Banks. Of course, they got together last week in Richmond. That definitely was not pretty. I think things have mostly calmed down between these two. They probably had I'm assuming they had a talk. Pretty sure they did. Things should be back up and running between them. 2 contenders for the Cup Series Championship, 2 Cup Series champions themselves. Both winners this season. Dylan Banks has a win in Iowa. And of course, Matthew White won last week at Richmond. He's starting to chase him down, lead on a little bit fresher tires. Will dirty air maybe starting to affect him? Will Dylan try to run a different line, or will Matthew White just be able to power around him? 6 to go till the halfway break. Right ahead of there is Pace and Lindsay. Of course, has damage. He's way off the pace, now going 2 laps down. Not today, Pace and Lindsay needed tonight at all. White has kind of stalled out behind Dylan Banks now. Banks would love to get a stage win here. Of course, another stage slipping away for Bryce Benton. The caution is out here in Kansas. What has happened? I don't know what happened at all. I think it was Andrew Stacy. He has damage. Let's see if it was. The yellow flag just came. Andrew Stacy spins on the back straightaway with Trent Wilkin. Oh, he just runs him over. He'll pitch to the wall and just completely ran over Wilkin. Wilkin going to ultimately save it. Andrew Stacy spins down the back straightaway. So this, I don't think, will end the stage. No, it will not. We have 5 to go to the stage. Has to be 4 to go. That means we'll have about a 1-lap shootout for the stage. That changes some things. First caution since we, of course, had that big wreck on the early portions of the race with Cameron Chandler. This changes a lot. Will we see anyone come to pit? Yeah, they're going to pit here. Wow. Will anyone stay out behind him? Doesn't look like a Hunsicker going to stay out back there. He will not peel off. Hunsicker stays out. So will Connor Asbell. Asbell was on the lead lap here. Probably we'll see some wave rounds as well. This changes a lot, especially for the drivers that need wave rounds. Second caution of the day. Here we go on pit road. Bryce Benson just hoping not to slide through his box this time. Doesn't want to see that happen. 4 fresh Goodyear tires here. Hunsicker, Asbell, they both stay out. Here we go, off pit road. Dylan Banks going to beat Matthew White pretty decently. Matthew White, a slow stop here. Banks going to easily be off pit road first. Second will be Bryce Benton. Third is going to be Clarino, and Matthew White is still sitting in the pits. Very slow stop for the driver of the 7. He may have gotten a penalty. I think that's probably what this is. I don't think he had any damage to repair. Wow. I believe this is a pit road penalty. Yet another one. Matthew White is heavily penalized on pit road. Kind of like Denny Hamlin. Man, this is not what the 7 wanted to see. And he's still on pit road serving this penalty. Matthew White might be out of contention for stage points at this point. So Hunsicker and Asbell, they both stay out here. Definitely going to be interesting for their strategies. We're going to come to the shoes this time by. We'll restart with 2 to go to the stage. Of course, long green flag run, almost 60 laps. Caution comes out with Andrew Stacy spinning on the back straightaway after he tried to dump Trenton Wilkin for whatever reason. Wilkin ended up just saving the race car and really came out with no damage at all. Here comes Matthew White finally off pit road. Ramon Clarino, as far as Chandler Lindsay, they're still laps down. I don't think they took the wave around here. Maybe they will do that at the end of the stage. We'll have to wait and see. All right, here we go. Going to be 2 laps to go to the stage. This is what we have. Hunsicker and Asbell in the front row, of course. Fresher tires behind him. Zane Rahman also stayed out, but he's currently a lap down, so I don't understand why he's up here in this main pack. That'll give Bryce Benton in the outside 3rd lane in the row. It'll be just 2 laps to go to the green and white checkered flag. And there goes Rahman. He's pulling off now. That's what I thought he was going to do. All right. Here we go. 2 laps before the green and white checkered flag. And William Reagan is currently 5th. After, I believe, staying at, or no, he actually did pit, but he had a fantastic run off pit road. This is going to be huge if he can get those points. 2 to go to the stage. After a long green flag run, the caution comes out, and we are back to the green flag with Hunsicker and Asbell on the front row. Oh, terrible restart. Big stack up outside. Asbell did not get going whatsoever. Now Hilquich has damage. Maybe Bryce Benton has a little bit of nose damage. To the inside, there's the 12 of Wilkin. There is Banks clear to 2nd place on fresher tires, then 77 to Hunsicker. He will now try to run him down. Hunsicker up the racetrack in the wall. Here comes Dylan Banks to the inside for 2nd. I should say for the lead. Back on 3 and 4 they go. Oh, the 77 has been an issue. He's way up the racetrack again. Coming to 1 to go in the stage. Wilkin now going to get a run down this front straightaway. Final lap till the green and white checker flag. Stage went up for grabs between 2 ETR cars. And have a rig in a 3rd. That is huge for the driver of the 36. Back at a 1 and 2. Wilkin maybe one final charge down this back straightaway. But Dylan Banks looking for the stage win. What will the 12 be able to do off turn 3 and 4? These 2 teammates go. Banks, though, he will hold on and see the green and white checkered flag to win the stage here at Kansas. 2nd will be Wilkin across the line. 3rd, huge points, Reagan, Benton, Beard, Asbell, Butler. As they come across the line, the caution's going to come out. Green and white checkered flag, the stage is over, and Matthew White will lose out on stage points. So will Braden Hunsicker. Terrible, terrible restart for him. Wow. As Dylan Banks going to win the stage here in Kansas. I mean, Hunsicker just went up the racetrack twice there. He stayed out. Ultimately, that is going to be a net loss, hugely, for Braden Hunsicker. But Dylan Banks is your stage winner here in Kansas. And what is the 48 car, but for some reason the number's hidden. But we are now under the halfway break from Kansas Speedway. We'll be right back. So here we go. They already used 2 sets of tires. So Wilkin, fake slow. None of your leaders, I don't think, are going to pit here. Then you got Hilquich pitting with DeFilippi. Asbell as well pitting. Zane Rahman coming to pit road. Of course, Braden Hunsicker, who stayed out before, going to come to pit road. So a lot of leaders stay out. This only leaves 15 cars in the lead lap. A lot of cars are trapped the lap down right now. A lot of them are coming to pit, or that were trapped the lap down. Of course, the leaders don't pit, so most of them at least. So a wave around will not be an option. All right, so Braden Hunsaker there. What a unfortunate strategy call here for the 77 car. It's not what he wanted to see whatsoever. So we're going to restart with Dylan Banks with the lead. And Wilkin going to be with him, his teammate. This is huge points. William Reagan gets 8 points here. That's going to be very, very big for the playoffs. He is known as one of the best point scorers in the stage here in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Jacob Clarino will get the free pass. So we'll see himself back on the lead lap. We're over halfway, under the halfway break currently in Kansas. Definitely been an interesting race. These cars are loose. Had a huge wreck early on with Cameron Chandler and others. He now has damage and he's nowhere in position for a free pass, yeah. Here goes Cole Clausen rolling off pit road. Same thing with Ashton Miller. Ashton is on the lead lap right now. Payson Lindsay currently 1 lap down. Here we go to the choose inside for both ETR cars. That'll give the front row to William Reagan. Row number 2 will be Bryce Benton. So got more cars going to catch up behind them. Hopefully they're able to get going again. I don't think we have anyone still on pit road, so we will go green this time. All right. We're going to restart on lap 72 here at Kansas Speedway. Interesting race so far. Currently, a number of drivers trapped the lap down. They're going to be hoping for cautions here. It's definitely going to be very hard now because I don't know how the wave around is going to work with that. It's going to be very, very tough. They're going to have to get good situations. 16 drivers currently on the lead lap here. That's definitely, obviously, not a lot. A lot of them tramp the lap down. Here we go. Dylan Banks and William Reagan on the front row. Our number 2 will be Wilkin and Benton for this restart. You got John Butler. He's had a great day. Maddox Beard as well has had a fantastic night. Matthew White, Connor Asbell, 7th and 8th. We are back to green, lap 72 in Kansas. Great restart for Dylan Banks. He is just gone in that 48 car. Side by side between Reagan, didn't get a terrible restart, and the 12 Wilkin as they head back into 1 and 2. Wilkin on the bottom, looking to clear William Reagan. He is clear for 2nd. Matthew White, oh, and Bryce Benton and Matthew White. There goes the 70 spinning. Benton's going to hook the 77 Hunsaker, and they're crashing. Around goes Braden Hunsaker. Benton's going to save it. Hunsaker has damage, and the caution is out as Matthew White spins on the back straightaway. Wow. Benton and White ultimately started getting together. Let's take a look how that all went out. 2 of your top contenders in this race. White on the inside of Bryce Benton. He just comes up the racetrack and unfortunately gets to him and almost turns him. Benton, what a save, but unfortunately hooks the 77. Max DiFilippi got involved. Hunsaker, who took a pretty decent shot, was right along with the 77 of Braden Hunsaker through this accident. Let's see what he saw. Inside, and then there they go. Benton, what a save. Oh, just hooks that 77 car and into the wall. Not horrible contact. Max DiFilippi had a good save as well. He's right at the blimp here with the 9 of Benton. Guys ran up the racetrack by that 7 of White. Both those 2 big contenders for the win. And White just swashes up the racetrack. Off corner exit, he goes and just hits him. 9 gets loose, turns back on the 7 of White. What a save for him, but Bryce has to have some damage from that. Poking back up in front of DiFilippi. And DiFilippi, what a save. Benton also hit him a little bit in the front end. Right along with him. Bryce Benton's on board now. White down to his inside. There and then. Yeah, there he goes. What a save he has. Close to the 77 on Hunsaker. Around he goes. And then here's the Filippi right ahead of him. Makes slight contact. Won't be anything big. But still not going to be very, very helpful. And Benton is currently on pit road. There's Hunsaker as well. He has some damage. Matthew White, I believe, has rolled off the pits. Actually, just had a spin, so it really wasn't too bad. We're coming to the shoes this time. Wow. Things change quick here in Kansas. This is one it's been a race to remember so far. My goodness. Coming to the shoes inside once again for Banks and Wilkin, their teammates, and outside goes William Reagan. Unfortunately for Joseph Tucker, he's actually dealing with an injury. Obviously not in this race tonight. Like, he's dealing with an actual injury. I think he's going to be out of playoff contention at this point. That's why he hasn't been here as of late. So, of course, lots of prayers to him. Hopefully getting better. And hopefully we'll see him back on track in the few coming weeks. Sitting around as far as I think got a free pass. 17 cars on the lead lap. Restart here on lap 76 to try to get this one back underway. So how much damage does Braden Hunsaker most notably have, and Bryce Benton? Matthew White just ultimately ended up kind of, he didn't save it obviously, but he didn't have a terrible crash there. And I'm going to restart 10th. Could have been a lot worse for Matthew White. Here we go. Going to be back underway here on lap 76 in Kansas. William Reagan and Dylan Banks on the front row. Oh, Banks got a pretty good shot there from his teammate Wilkin as we come back to green. Wilkin has some nose damage. That's not going to be good at all on this high-speed aerodynamic racetrack. We're back to green, though, in Kansas. Outside there is Connor Asbell, 3 wide on the 18 of Maddox Beard. 3x3. Oh, Beard in the middle. Trying to hang on there. Sean Hillquich as well as they hit 3 wide down the back straightaway. Deepa Levy down bottom. Maddox Beard almost backs out of it, but he's in another 3 wide situation between Deepa Levy and Hillquich. There's the 7 of White down low. We squeeze each other side by side. Few lanes deep down this front stretch. White down low trying to race with Deepa Levy. Inside he goes on the 81 of Hillquich. Momentum coming high. He's getting almost into the wall. Nowhere to go for the most part. Here's Matthew White inside, trying to make it 3 wide. Deepa Levy going to cut off his nose and force him back along. How about Connor Asbell in 6th right now? Side by side now between Maddox Beard and the 87 is now up to 2nd goes William Reagan. What a run he's having. 3 wide. Down low, here comes Matthew White. Hillquich has to be nervous. Same thing with Cole Clausen, with Reagan having such a good day. Getting tight. There's the 87 of DeFilippi. Matthew White trying to make his way through this chaos. He's got Cole Clausen on his bumper. Now to the outside of the 87, he will go. DeFilippi going to side draft him. They're door to door now. Jake Carino to the inside of John Butler, battling for 4th place. Clarino, oh, he's clear, but he's loose, and there goes Hillquich. Around to the back stretch, we will stay green. He's going to go for a full spin. This is worst case scenario for Sean Hillquich. We'll stay green, he's out of the way. No caution. Hillquich, of course, Hillquich, he spins. Matthew White going to get a position because of that. Maybe even 2 with DeFilippi. Side by side, Clarino to the inside of the 09 of Butler. Somebody has a huge length. That's not good at all. A high-speed racetrack like Kansas. Maybe it's John Butler. He's now trying to catch down Trent Wilkin. That nose damage definitely is hurting the 12. And his teammate Dylan Banks, of course, they got going pretty decently, but not with the, of course, big extent damage on Wilkin. Wilkin's been running inside the top 5 for the majority of this day. He has good pace. Now has maybe about 6 or so cars on his bumper. Oh, way up the racetrack is Clarino. He gets blocked by Connor Aspa. I don't think he's going to be very happy about that one. To the outside goes Maddox Beer now trying to take advantage. Here comes Matthew White down low. White trying to slice his way through the field. He's to the inside of Maddox Beard. Clarino blocks down all the way on the low side. Trying to cut off Matthew White. He will. Back at a 1 and 2. White is doing everything he can to try to find his way as now Clarino gets loose again. There's Connor Aspa blocking him all the way down low. Clarino into 5th place. Now up the racetrack goes Connor Aspa. To his inside goes Matthew White. Up to 6 goes the 7. They're all over each other for 3rd place between John Butler and Trenton Wilkin. Back at a 1 and 2. Oh, White again gets cut off by Clarino. Will his pages begin to run out maybe? Matthew White has not been too happy with Chandler Wilson racing drivers, most notably Alexander Ortega, and Clarino is another one. Here he is, the inside, 5th place. Matthew White still trying to get down there on the 33 of Clarino. So they do, of course, have to pit to the end of the to the end of the race. We stay green to the end. Will be another green flag pit stop. We don't have a caution here. Wilkin is just really holding up this whole line. Here he is. Here we go. Around to the inside of John Butler. 4th place. Oh, Maddox Beard right ahead of Cole Clausen. I thought he was completely going around. He saves the race car and keeps going in the right direction. Beard, though, going to lose multiple spots here in that 18. Clausen now under attack from DiFilippi. Those guys aren't friends. They're 3 wide. Back at a 1 and 2. John Butler around the outside. Clarino on the bottom. Matthew White on the low side. White's going to slide up the racetrack. Oh, Clarino is loose. He will save it. What a save. Down on the inside. Here comes Matthew White going over 2-for-1 special on the bottom on John Butler. And he'll take 4th away. Butler, though, he does not want to give up just yet. Trying to get back to the bumper of the 7. Into the wall goes John Butler a little bit. He's had a fantastic day. Currently runs inside the top 5. Now Matthew White trying to run down Trenton Wilkin. Up front, 2 seconds is the gap between Wilkin and Banks. Matthew White, he knows that 12 car is not too quick, and Connor Asbell is loose. Trying to hang on to it, he will. He got turned by Clarino, who's trying to get, I think, some payback. He will hang on to it, though, but he's got cars swallowing him back up. To the inside now, Maddox Beard. Side by side down this back straightaway. '72 of Connor Asbell up the racetrack as well. Beard down on the low side. And he'll take that spot away. Up on Bryce Benton, he's still 11th. Definitely has some damage on that race car that we don't see. He was the dominant car of the day for the first 45 or so laps. Here we go for 2nd, or 3rd, I should say. Matthew White to the inside of Trenton Wilkin. White, what a recovery he's having. Of course, was involved in that crash down the back straightaway. Wilkin, though, still trying to keep it outside. Gotta wonder what could have been for Wilkin if he doesn't have that front end damage. Definitely affecting him as they head back at a 1 and 2. White to 3rd. Still about 2.7 seconds back on your leader, Dylan Banks. Side by side, there is Gregory, who is multiple laps down to the outside of Connor Asbell. Lap 90 in Kansas, 45 laps remain from the Kansas Speedway. What an incredible day William Reagan has been having. Finished 3rd in the stage, currently runs 2nd. I mean, what a night. And he's keeping pace with Dylan Banks, one of the best, a former champion. He won this race a season ago, Dylan did. Jake Marino also having another great day. Cole Clausen inside the top 7. He's been quiet. He had some damage on the first crash, but he's kept on going and currently runs in 7th place. course, a green flag pit stop still to come if we don't have a caution pretty soon. When will that cycle begin? Here we go, side by side down the back straightaway between Wilkin and Butler. Butler going to take the spot away. Wilkin definitely falling off a cliff back to fifth. That nose damage. How high-speed Kansas Speedway is not helping him one bit, and now he's loose! There he goes, Trenton Wilkins spinning down the front straightaway through the infield grass. Oh, he's gonna come back up to the racetrack. This has gotta be a caution. Yellow is out and into the wall hard. Goes Ethan McMillan and Braden Hunsicker. Caution came out when he slid back up into the racetrack. Hunsicker has big, big damage. So does McMillan. Wilkins just couldn't hang on to it. Caution was out when they started seeing him sliding back up the racetrack, but not enough time to react for both McMillan and Hunsicker. Right along here with the 12 of Wilkins. Just loses it all by himself down the front straightaway. Through the infield grass he goes, and this is just the worst feeling ever for a driver. Slides back up to the racetrack. Look at the 9 of Benson. Oh my God, but of course big hits there for Hunsicker and the 70 of McMillan. That's right along with Braden through this accident. I was going to take a look. I think we may have some of your leaders from the pit. Riding along with Braden Hunsicker. There he goes. He sees it. Reacts. Definitely not the best spot he wanted to react. And he collects with Ethan McMillan, who has big, big damage. So does Braden Hunsicker. The Knights could be really affected because of this. Here we go. Your leaders are pitting. This might be the final stop of the day. It's going to be so close to see if they can make it to the end now. This changes a whole lot of things. Because I don't know. Here comes Banks, your leader, to pit road. Easily into his pit box. Same thing with Matthew White. For fresh Goodyear tires, I have to assume, for your race leaders. Matthew White took 2. My goodness, strategy call for the 7. But isn't able to pack it full of fuel, I don't think, because of that. He's the only driver taking 2. Second going to be Banks. Third, Reagan. Fourth, Butler off of pit road. Yeah, I don't think now he's able to pack it with enough fuel, Matthew White. They're already going to be close. So I don't know about this now. We're the driver of the 7. Very interesting strategy call. Take 2 tires. Obviously, we'll also be on a bit of a deficit of tires. And we'll have the lead, though. Interesting strategy call. Starting to get towards the end of this thing. There's Trenton Wilkin rolling off pit road as well. Bryce Fenton's still sitting in the pits. Braden Hunsicker, of course, with pretty decent damage. There's Ryan Suarez in 31. Cameron Chandler, he is just abysmal night. Not the night he needed at all. So far, his score is 0 points in today's race. And probably will continue as that if nothing else changes. Here come your leaders. The choose inside goes White and Reagan going to actually choose the top here, with Banks going down low again. Inside for second place has been kind of the preferred lane for the most part. They're going to have enough time to catch back up here. Might need to give him maybe a lap. No. I think we're done. It's going to be close, but I think we can hold on to extending it, I believe. Or just Hunsiker's ping again. We're actually going to extend it. So still cars have to catch up back here. Waiting on a bunch. Braden Hunsicker coming down pit road as well. Coming to 1 to green this time. And we're going to restart on lap 97 here in Kansas. I think Ethan McMillan probably going to be done for the day after this hard hit into the wall. He is destroyed. Big damage there in that 70 machine. So I want to go now. Got more cars last second pit stops because of this. Just going to be a little bit of damage repair for Chandler. Doing anything he can. Still is a lap down to Cameron. Here comes Braden Hunsaker off pit road. He is pretty heavy damage as well. But Matthew White going to lead the field back to the green. Two-tire strategy call here. I don't know if he's going to be good to the end on fuel. Should be very interesting. See what happens. Here we go. Going to restart lap number 97. Of course, White. We'll see if he gets going very solidly again. Side by side now with William Reagan. For this restart at Kansas. Pace car is back in. White and Reagan on the front row. Reagan has had a fantastic night. White on 2 tires here. We'll see if he's able to hold on to the lead. Back under green into Kansas. Great restart on the outside. All things considered for William Reagan. He's been doing good on that throughout tonight's race. Side by side though for second place. To the inside goes Dylan Banks, 3 wide. Further behind him. Banks now get each other loose back there. Banks now to second. Asbel is falling back. Banks now going to try to run down Matthew White for the lead of this race. He's to his bumper as they head back down this front straightaway. Reagan falling into the clutches of maybe Maddox Beard. What a day Maddox Beard is having tonight. Running 4th. What a career night for the driver of the 18. Side by side here is the 9 of Benton to the outside of John Butler for 6th place. Benton is recovering. Ilwich as well recovering up to 5th. Oh, John Butler just squeezes the 12 of Trenton Wilkin there. Up the racetrack he'll go. There's that 71 of Cole Clausen. Now to the inside almost. Dylan Banks starting to battle for the lead between him and Matthew White. Caution is out again. And it's John Butler. Ashton Miller going around. He will spin. What happened this time? To the outside he goes on Andrew Stacy. Ashton Miller just not had a good day at all. Through no stage points. Miller. Oh my God, Andrew Stacy that's the second time he's just ran through someone tonight. Completely turns around the 79 of Miller. Payson Lindsay hit the wall pretty good there as well. Oh, he'll get some more damage because of this. And that 99 car continuing Payson's pretty poor day. It's right along here with the 99 of Payson Lindsay. Struggling all night long. There goes Miller, gets turned around by this. And it just goes up. It probably should have went down. Oh. Unfortunate there. With Ashton Miller and Payson Lindsay. Caution out again, and you're in Kansas. Kind of caution-filled as of late. We are 100 laps into this event. We'll see if anyone pits here. I don't know if everyone's go to the end. We might see cars come to pit. Here we go. No, none of your leaders. None of the leaders, none of the top 10 cars at least going to come to pit. Andrew Stacy, he's pitting. He does have damage. I think Ashton Miller's going to be very happy with the driver of the 96 now. Here comes Hunsaker now off pit road. So it's 2 to go to the restart. Getting a free pass will be Cameron Chandler, finally. He'll be on the lead lap after 100 laps. Braden Hunsaker currently in 4 laps down now. Rolling back on the track. Coming to the shoes this time by. So we'll restart with about 32 to go. So still a little bit of ways to go, but we're definitely coming to the final portion of this event here in Kansas tonight. And this is going to be such a point shakeup. Still look at William Reagan running in 3rd. What a night he's having. right, here we go. Choose again. I have to imagine Dylan Banks going to choose low. It's working out for him really good. Outside lane has been horrible in restarts so far this week. Here we go. Obviously making sure it's known he's choosing inside. Reagan goes top. I think that's the best place for him. We're going to go down low. Hilkwich will be on the second row now. Here comes Cameron Chandler back down pit road again. Still has pretty significant damage on that 8 machine. I mean, just got a... Cameron Chandler probably is just... It has just been an absolutely abysmal night for him. He's got to be just punching himself. Because how... He just threw it all away on the opening 2 laps. Started outside the top 10. Started 13th tonight. Didn't have great pace in qualifying. Wasn't that fast. And he was decent in practice. He was top 10. Made up great spots on the initial start of the race, but of course just wrecks all by himself. Takes hard hits, other cars all around him, and it's not the night he wanted so far. He's back on the lead lap. Let's see what Cameron Chandler is able to do, even with significant damage. Maybe looking to score a point or two, if anything. Here we go. Ready for the restart. 32 laps to go at Kansas Speedway. Matthew White, William Reagan again on the front row. And we're back to green. Oh, Reagan gets loose. He might come down. No, he doesn't. There's Bryce Benson. A very messy restart all around. Here is Dylan Banks to the outside of Matthew White, trying to take the lead away as they head back into 1. White on the low side, going to try to clear up, but Dylan Banks going to maybe make a crossover down low if he can get there. Habomatic spear into 3rd place. Must have William Reagan out of the way. Side by side now, Benson to the inside of the 81 of Hilkwich. 3 wide, almost 4 wide for a quick second. Connor Aswell sliding up the racetrack. Oh, and they make contact. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Progression is picking up even more as they head back into 1 and 2. Leapy sliding up to the door of Connor Aswell. Into the wall goes Zane Rahman. There's still 3 wide down this back straightaway. The inside goes Steve Leapy. Low on Rahman. Side by side now down the front straightaway between Jacob Clarino and Cole Clausen for 9th place. Now Wilkin trying to pressure Maddox Beard for 3rd. Clausen down on the low side. Jacob Clarino up on the outside. Clarino, a huge run, trying to get around Sean Hilkwich here. Side by side, down the front straightaway. Race bent into the wall on that 9. He's trying to make something work. Trying something a little bit differently. He's up the P6. After being dominant early in this race. We know that 9 car is still very, very quick. Here's Rahman side by side with his teammate, DeFilippi. Asbell down low as well. Michael Gregory 2 laps down still. Here's Connor Asbell to the inside on the 87 of DeFilippi. He'll take that spot away. Now, up front, Dylan Banks in the bumper, trying to get to the bumper of Matthew White. Remember, back to Kansas last season, the championship race. Dylan Banks ran down Matthew White and passed him to win the championship a year ago. Now, non-championship race, same drivers up front. Can Dylan Banks do the same thing tonight to try to run down Matthew White? And does Matthew White have enough fuel in the wreck and in the back? Around goes Zane Rahman and Connor Asbell. They'll spin to the inside. No caution. Will stay green for now. Asbell going to have to try to get going again. Same thing with Rahman. They do get going, and we're going to stay green. Back into 1 and 2. The gap maybe starting to extend between Matthew White and Dylan Banks. But does everyone have enough fuel to make it to the end? Here is Floriano to the inside of Butler. Of course, Matthew White was not able to pack it completely full, I don't think, of Sunoco fuel during that caution flag. He only took 2 tires. Banks took 4. We'll see. Marino inside on John Butler for 7th. .25 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway. Matthew White, your current race leader, looking for his first win at Kansas. Surprising, this is a track he hasn't won at. Here's Bryce Benson currently running in 6th. Having still a solid day, but definitely could have been a whole lot more. And now here to the inside goes Cole Clausen and Sean Hillquich. This is for 10th. Filippi having a fantastic run in 9th. Oh, and they're going to door slam each other down the front straightaway. I don't think Cole Clausen's very happy with Hillquich for whatever reason. Heading back into 1 and 2. Now De Filippi's letting Cole Clausen go. Obviously, they're not the best of friends. Doesn't want to get involved in too much. Full-time driver De Filippi does. Another full-time driver to the inside, Sean Hillquich on De Filippi. He'll take 10th away. Up front now, still about 0.5 of a second the gap. Banks was reeling in Matthew White. Kind of now stopped. Tries to work his Maddox. There is White, still about 0.6 of a second out in front. Riding along with Dylan Banks. He's running maybe a little bit of a higher lane. Honestly, surprised it's not working out to Banks' favor. White is running quick on the bottom. And it's starting to pull away. White, of course, like we said, took 2 tires. Don't know if he was able to fully pack it with fuel or not. We'll have to see as the run goes on. .20 laps to go in Kansas. Matthew White, of course, he's been the points leader for the majority of this season, but first 2 wins of the season came race 2 and race 3 at Sonoma and Kentucky. He then waited about over 10 races to win his next race, which is at Watkins Glen. And then he's been on fire ever since. 1 Watkins Glen, and then 1 Richmond as well. Now he'll win back-to-back races in Kansas to win now 3 out of the last 4 after going maybe over 10 races winless. Dylan Banks, good couple of corners, closed the gap to about 0.4 of a second. He's got to run down this front straightaway. I mean, does Matthew need to save any gas? We're not completely sure on that whole situation just yet. 18 laps to go. These two, of course, had a bit of a get-together in Richmond last week. Dylan Banks called him out after the race. We'll see if anything happens between these two. He's to his bumper. Really good few laps for Banks. White, ooh, he's looking loose on the bottom. Banks going to have good momentum coming down this front straightaway. All over his back bumper, reminiscent of the championship last season when Banks was running down White here at Kansas. He's got probably more good momentum lap car. That's Saint Roman heading down the back straightaway. Better corner there for Matthew White. But Banks, though, still closes down off corner exit. got to go now if he wants to have a chance at this. Oh, unfortunately, Roman, the lap car, had taken Dylan's line away, but how much will Roman affect Matthew White? Oh, in the wall goes that one. Gotta get out of the way. And he's gonna affect Dylan Banks here. He's currently goes a lap down. He'll now move out of the way from Banks. Ooh, Banks' entry there gonna be a little bit affected. Roman goes one lap down. Oh, Banks, he's in the wall! Bad corner there for Dylan. It was a little bit of time, not as much as it could have been, though, to Matthew. 15 laps to go, coming up 14 to go this time by. Banks close up to his bumper, then it kind of just stalled out. He's trying to get a run back down this front stretch to recreate what he did a season ago here at Kansas to win the championship. Back into 1 and 2 they go. Kind of a similar line. Ooh, White got a little bit tight there. Almost had the lift. White continues to lead with 13 laps to go. The gap about 3 to 4/10 of a second. Banks closed up rapidly, then he hit the wall, and now he's kind of stalling out. And time is beginning to run out for Dylan Banks. They'll try to run down that 7 of Matthew White. Next lap car on the way is Payson Lindsay. Dylan, I think, ever so slightly scraped the wall, heading down the front stretch again. There's Payson Lindsay going to put his race car. He, of course, the next one to go 1 lap down into the wall. Again goes Dylan Banks. Now he's going to try maybe a bit of a middle line. He is pushing as hard as he can. Lap car, where's Lindsay going to go? Will he just let Matthew go? We'll see. Lindsay up the racetrack will let the 7 of White go on around him. Yeah, he's going to kind of compromise Dylan Banks' line here. Banks will clear lap car. Lindsay coming at 10 laps to go. In the wall a little bit goes Matthew White. But the gap now 5/10 of a second with 10 to go. Can White hold on? Does he have enough fuel to make it? Those are the questions here at Kansas with 10 laps remaining. And will we see a caution? Change everything like it did last week. Maddox Beard, he's had a phenomenal run tonight in 3rd place. Absolutely, by far, career day for the driver of the 18. Here comes Wilkin to the inside as well. William Reagan holding on in a 6th place right now. Reisman fell all the way back to 7th. He's got now Cole Clausen on his rear bumper. Heading back into 3 and 4 they go. Gregory's currently 9 laps down, but still in the fight up front. What could have been the driver of the 27 if he didn't hit the wall early in the race. There's Clausen to the inside of Benton. Benton up the racetrack in the wall. Pretty good. Don't want to do that too many times late in the race here. You're going to push it down and block Cole Clausen. Oh, my goodness. That was not a move Bryce Benton probably should have been doing there. Cole Clausen probably not going to appreciate that one too much. Just all the way down low he goes and just blocks him. Nearly turned himself around. Up front, now 6/10 of a second the gap. Starting to catch Cameron Chandler here, that lap car. 7 laps to go in Kansas. Matthew Whiteman had an incredible last 4 races. Looking for yet another win. Banks still runs second, but might need a caution here with 6 to go. White catches the lap car of Cameron Chandler. Of course, these two could have been in a regular season championship battle tonight, but ultimately wasn't meant to be. Five to go. Oh, in the wall a little bit goes John Butler. And it's still a really good day in 5th. Back here, Cole Clausen on the back bumper. William Reagan. This is battle for 6th place. Cole Clausen still has a chance here at back-to-back top 5s. He's looking to the quarter panel of Reagan. To the inside through 1 and 2 they go. Side by side for 6th place between Cole Clausen and William Reagan. Reagan up the racetrack, it's tight as the lift, and allows the 71 of Clausen just to go around him. Hillquist still running in 8th back there. Bryce Benson fell at 9th, and might even lose that 9th spot with Clarino on his bumper. 3 to go, 1.1 seconds the gap now between Dylan Banks and Matthew White. White just hoping for no caution to end it. Good on fuel, obviously. No saving was necessary for Matthew White. Took a 2-tire strategy. This is what's going to win him the race. Coming up 2 to go this time. Dylan Banks, maybe if he took 2 tires, could have been ahead of the 7 of White, and maybe he would have been in victory lane tonight. Oh, still not over. 2 to go, but no caution. This thing is probably over. Back around the field. Got a car pitting. That's Payson Lindsay here with 2 laps to go coming to pit road. I don't understand why he's doing that. Really make a whole lot of sense. And off the final corner he goes. He'll see the white flag this time by 1 lap to go for Matthew White. Looking for back-to-back wins. For the 2nd time this season, it went back-to-back to start off the year, race 1 and race 2. And now looking for yet another win. Down the backstretch he goes. One final time. Banks still 1.5 seconds back. Had a shot at the win. It looks like it's not going to be meant to be for Dylan Banks. Through 3 and 4 goes the 7. Won the regular season championship after qualifying. He'll add to that. Matthew White wins Kansas. 2nd going to be Banks. 3rd across the line. Maddox Beard. What a career day for him. Trenton Wilkin will finish 4th. 5th, great finish. John Butler, I think he'll be able to lock himself into the playoffs. Hillquist, another good finish in P6. Clausen 7th, Reagan 8th, Benton in 9th. What could have been for him. And Jacob Clarino around at your top 10. As they come racing off behind him. But it's the 7. Matthew White, he'll win. Just gets an extra. It comes away with a record 20 playoff points tonight. That is unreal. And White gonna burn it down. Back-to-back wins after winning in Richmond. Extends his all-time wins lead. 3 wins in the last 4 races after going winless for over 10 races to start the year. His 19th career NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series win. We're going to get to 20. And win number 5 on the year leads all drivers. Very impressive win for Matthew White, but you know, what could have been for Dylan Banks, though? So close. It's yet another win. They'll have to settle for 2nd once again. Just unbelievable day for Maddox Beard. That is going to get the attention of a lot of Cup team owners that are looking for full-time drivers next season. After what was a pretty intense race all night long, pretty calm way to end it with Matthew White in victory lane, but calmness probably ends here. Daytona next race. My goodness. End the regular season. And Matthew White, your checkered flag moment, and your race winner, Kansas Speedway, of course, will lock up the Season 4 regular season championship. And another great points day, another good playoff points day as well for the driver of the 7. Matthew White, your winner in Kansas. All right, so we got post-race interviews that are coming up next. And a lot more post-race coverage as Matthew White goes to victory lane tonight. All right. So as we welcome you live to the post-race show in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series here at Kansas Speedway, we got interviews that are coming up next. Let's real quick give you a rundown on your playoff grid after Kansas. One race left to go in the regular season. Of course, we have an off week next week for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, but after that, it's the Daytona regular season finale. And my goodness, that is going to be one you just can't miss. All right. Just one quick second here. I'll be right back. We'll have your points updates in about 30 seconds here in Kansas. All right, so official points update is now coming. Of course, Matthew White locks up the regular season championship. He's had a fantastic year. That will, of course, be over in Daytona for the regular season title. On the playoff bubble, William Reagan does enough to get above the playoff cut line. What a night for him. Now you got Connor Havrilla, now just +3 over Matt Grab. And -5 is Payson Lindsay. Just about -10 is now Andrews Stacy. And then -19 Connor or Asbel on that playoff cut line. I believe Joseph Tucker mathematically still involved to make the playoffs. So that makes it very interesting here. John Butler will lock himself into the playoffs tonight. I believe I think Sean Hillquich should be able to lock himself in as well. It's going to be, yes, Sean Hillquich does lock into the playoffs. Trenton Wilkin is now locked into the playoffs as well, I believe. Yes, yes, Wilkin is locked in. That's the end of it. It'll be Clausen, Reagan, Havrilla, Grab, Lindsay, Stacy, Asbel, and Tucker all going for the final 3 spots in Daytona. All right, post-race interviews coming up here at Kansas Speedway tonight. Matthew White doesn't like to do post-race interviews, so that will be happening tonight. So we'll be coming up with your, believe, Dylan Banks will not be doing an interview here. Next, are going to be up for, I think, Maddox Beard. What a night for him. Maddox Beard, by far your best ever run in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, finishing 3rd. Best ever finish. Absolutely career day for you guys. Take me through where this speed came from and how excited you are on this great run tonight.
Well, yeah. Xfinity yesterday I felt pretty fast as well, but I didn't get the finish I wanted, so I decided I'm gonna run Cup tonight. At the start of the race, there was a little bit of a struggle. Kind of had to get used to the car, felt pretty loose, but as the race went on, I started to get a hang of the car, and yeah, I just kept making my way up there. And then there was that wreck between Matthew and Bryce, and after that, I really started to dial in, and yeah, I felt really fast. Yeah, Kansas is a strong track for me. So yeah, I just a great run for me tonight. At the end there, couldn't quite to Matthew. I mean, he was just really fast and couldn't quite to Dylan. I held off Wilkin, but yeah, I'm happy with that performance. And definitely, if I go up to Cup next season, it'll definitely be one of my stronger tracks.
So do you think this amazing performance is going to get the attention of maybe some Cup owners that are maybe watching and looking for a full-time driver next year?
Well, yeah, I hope honestly. I mean, any ride I can get is good. So yeah.
All right, Maddox. Well, of course, great job. Your run here in Kansas tonight. You're full time in the Xfinity Series where you're looking to make the playoffs next week in Daytona. So good luck there, or 2 weeks in Daytona after the off week. So good luck there in Xfinity, and we'll see you in Daytona.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, going to be Trenton Wilkin. Of course, he locks himself into the playoffs. He'll be not next up for an interview. Next up, going to be John Butler in the 09. John Butler, fantastic day for you guys all around. A top five finish, and you had top five speed all day long. You one of your most solid races of the season, and you're also going to lock yourself into the Cup Series playoffs officially. You won't have to worry about that heading into Daytona next week. Just ultimately, give me your thoughts on this one and your highlights of your day in Kansas tonight, finishing in fifth.
Um, to be honest, it feels much different than running in front all day. I mean, I'm used to running like 10th around there and got a bunch of guys right in front of you, but it was fairly just clear track in front pretty much. It felt nice. I mean, I had to go to the back for speeding, but at the end of the stage, but I was able to get seventh in the stage. But other than that, it was just try to stay focused and just don't fall too far back, and that's where it basically ended up for the day for the P5.
So we head to Daytona next week. So does your plan change because you're officially locked into the playoffs? Any way you're gonna race in Daytona?
Um, Daytona, here's the thing. I would race differently, but it's more over like my internet limitation, because this race I was a little blinky more than usual, but that should be fixed for next week. But for Daytona, I'm not really the type of guy to go ahead and lead the charge to say, but it might change, but most likely you're probably gonna see me in the back for all of the race, for all the laps until like maybe at the end I might show up here and there, but don't expect anything crazy next week.
All right, John. Well, still, nice job on the fantastic day all around top five and locking yourself into the Cup Series playoffs for your second time in your career. And we'll see you in Daytona after the off week in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. I would just like to thank my spotter, Barrick Owen Jr. He's the guy, the reason why I'm able to finish so good while having so much information on everybody. And good night, everybody.
All right, that was John Butler. Coming up next will be Dylan Banks, who wasn't in the interview room first, but he will now be in here. Of course, he finished second. Dylan in this race tonight led a good amount of laps, won this stage. So ultimately, it's a very good points day for Banks. Led 35 laps, which is the third most of anyone tonight. So second straight top three for Dylan Banks, as he now moves up a spot to fourth in points, and mathematically doesn't have a shot though for third. So the battle will continue for second in the points between Chandler and Hunsicker heading to Daytona. Dylan Banks, another great run for you guys, but another race coming up short to Matthew White. You finished second tonight. Matthew White, of course, took two tires. He jumped you guys on the pit stop there, and ultimately you ran him down, and ultimately weren't able to get around him there. So what more did you need there in the closing laps to try to get this victory?
Yeah, just clean air. I should have known to take two tires there. I just thought the wear on the less would be too much, especially with like 40 to go. And I thought I was gonna be able to get. I got him loose. Trying to sit on his left rear. I did get him loose a couple times, but he just had the clean air, and he could do whatever he wanted with the clean air. And I tried everything I could, just in that dirty air. It's so hard. It really is. But props to him. I mean, he made a good call. Definitely hate those last couple cautions that came out. I feel like if it stayed green and we had to pit under green, I feel like we had it in the bag for sure. almost a second and a half over second, 3 seconds to Matthew in third. Um, and as long as I executed on pit road, I feel like we had that in the bag for sure. But just how it goes. Yeah, just gonna go out and try to get a win next week.
So of course, off week next week. In 2 weeks, we head to Daytona.
2 weeks, sorry.
It's the regular season finale, so there's nothing really on the line for you guys. You're already locked into the playoffs. You're locked in. I believe you got fourth in points right now. You can't go any higher than that. You're currently in about fourth in points, which doesn't really mean anything at the end of the regular season with Ashton Miller. So all you're really going for there is playoff points, which could be very valuable in the playoffs. You got one tonight in the stage. So what is your game plan? Maybe if you want to give us a little peek at it in Daytona.
You said what's my game plan?
Yep.
Win. Win. That's the game plan for every race. Doesn't matter where it's at. Well, obviously Daytona's different. I've definitely try to help my team out as much as I can. Because teamwork is the dream work at Daytona. So just trying to get locked up with my guys and go from there. But all I'm gonna say is that this 48 team, we don't give up, man. Finishing second 2 weeks in a row, it just makes me even more hungry for a win. So gonna go out there and give it our all the rest of the year for sure. Boys better watch out.
All right, Dylan, of course, nice job. Another great race. You won the stage, led third most laps tonight. And we'll see you in 2 weeks from Daytona for the regular season finale.
Oh yeah, thank you, buddy.
That was Dylan Banks. Coming up next, going to be, thought it was going to be Sean Hilkett, but surprisingly, he's not going to do an interview here. Next up is going to be Cole Clausen, finished in 7th. Cole Clausen, another top 10 finish tonight. Back-to-back top 10s for you guys, and another good points day all around. You finish in 7th. You're gaining spots there in the end, so it's one of your better racetracks as well, and you'll be now 10th in points. Let me look real quick, about 23 points above the cut line, so another good gain on that. So ultimately, give me your thoughts on that being plus 23. Still not locked in, but in a much better spot heading to Daytona. Ultimately, your top 10 finish here tonight in Kansas.
Yeah, I'm really surprised I'm plus 23. I mean, I know we got a 7th place finish, which is pretty good, but I didn't get any stage points, or I didn't get like the 0x bonus points, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I guess a lot of my competitors had some pretty rough days. I feel like that first wreck was kind of interesting. I don't really know what happened. I have yet to take a replay of it, but yeah, I mean, we were really just flying on the lawn run there. Especially, right before Wilkins spun there. I think we're, one of the fastest cars on the track. And, of course, Wilkins just got to be stupid and self-spin. And McMillan really just had nowhere to go, So, yeah, McMillan, he's just getting taken out in every single race. I mean, I get it. He drove himself in the wall, but there's cars stopped in the middle of the track, so he really had no other option there. But yeah, and pretty solid day for us. I know I got Sean Hillquicks or whatever his last name is. He got a little mad at me because I don't know. Apparently, he thought it was a good idea to be blocking in the middle of the corner, which I've lifted for a lot of people this season, and it's time to be aggressive. I'm not lifting for that kind of stuff. So yeah, also with like 5 laps to go, Bryce Benn was throwing death blocks on me like he usually does. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, just a pretty interesting race. Dirty air was definitely a factor, but definitely we'll take a 7th place.
All right, Cole. So you're not technically locked in, but how much is that a relief? You're going to be now plus 23 to the good on the cut line. Probably the best you've been in over 10 or so races now to the cut.
Yeah, it's a huge relief, especially going into a race like Daytona. I'm pretty sure Daytona, we have an off week here, so we have a lot of time to get prepared for Daytona, even though it's not like you can practice for a super speedway race. But yeah, I know we're at least I'm gonna run a pretty cool paint scheme for 911. I don't know, but I don't know if McMillan is racing or not, but. Yeah, gonna be a fun race down there in Daytona. Can't wait for it, and hopefully we can just get a good finish and officially lock ourselves in the playoffs. Obviously, in that regular season finale.
All right, Cole. Nice job. Top 10 finish again. Let me actually check real quick. This is your. It's only 6 top 10 of the year. I feel year, I should say. I feel like you've done a lot more, but still, ultimately, good night for you guys finishing in 7th. So we'll see you in 2 weeks after the off week in Daytona.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next up, going to be William Reagan, finished 8th tonight. William Reagan, a fantastic day for you guys. You got 3rd on the stage, 8th in the race. Really, really solid day. You're inside the playoff cut line again. You're going to be plus 18 to the good on the cut line. Really good day. Matt Grab, he of course scored no points tonight, and ultimately that really helps you guys with scoring great points, and Haverhill also having a bad day. So just take me through your fantastic night and how much of a relief this is now being plus 18 to the good heading into Daytona.
Yeah, I really needed this run. I was kind of on a stretch of just finishing 10th and just kind of weaseling my way into the top 10 late in these races. But once I got the track position at the end of stage at the first half, I felt really good about this 36 car. Clean air felt really good. I was able to keep up with Dylan Banks for a while, which was a great confidence boost for me. I usually don't get the race up front. Unfortunately, I got damage on that last restart on the rear bumper, which kind of took away some speed, but we still salvaged the top 10, and I'm just overall happy with the performance I had today. I did not feel confident going into this race after practice. I was way off.
So still, of course, great day for you guys. Will this change any way you race? I know it's plus 18. It's not locked in, of course, or anything. Heading to Daytona, will this change the way you guys race and approach that event?
No, probably not. Daytona, I'm probably going to race it like I raced it back in April. Just kind of see what the tone is of the pack and see if I can make a move up there or if it's not time yet. I'm kind of relieved I don't have to worry about too much points racing going into the biggest wild card of the season.
All right, William, of course, great job. Great points day for you guys, getting yourself above the playoff cut line, plus 18, getting 2 spots in the standings as well. And we will see you next week, or in 2 weeks after the off week, for the regular season finale in Daytona.
Thank you.
Bryce Benton coming up next. He finished 9th. Bryce Benton, it's 9th place, still a top 10, but what could have been today again? You led the first 50 or so laps. You were dominant up front. You started on a pole, of course. And then, of course, you're involved in that crash. Got some bad strategy. Ultimately, you'll finish 9th, falling off there in the longer run. So just take me through your struggles after that really good start to the race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had the speed, and I just simply can't finish off races. I feel like I did look at that rack actually before. I'll get to that in a sec. The pit strategy didn't really work out amazing. I didn't execute pit road good. That was the start of the struggles. I missed the pit box. I'm assuming you saw that on the stream, and that lost me a lot of time. And then yeah, then we were back in traffic, and I really struggle in traffic. I'm amazing in clean air. I'm like super fast when I get in the clean air, but for some reason, it's just I really struggle when I'm in traffic in the dirty air. That's just something I need to work on. But now I'll get to the wreck. Yeah, I with Matthew White and me, it was just I don't know. It was like kind of light contact, I would say, and it just kind of turned us sideways, and then I was trying to save it, and I was sideways, and then I gassed up into Braden, which I didn't mean to do. I was just trying to save it, and yeah, I didn't really know there were 3 wide behind me. I should have been more aware of it, but yeah, I was trying to save it, and then I got hit, and then that gave me a lot of damage, and that's pretty much just race over from there. I mean, I was able to get my way back up to 6 somehow because I was able to repair some of my damage under the cautions, but I didn't get all of it repaired. Looking back, on the last caution, I should have came in and actually repaired all my damage because I was still out there with like maybe 40 seconds of damage because I didn't want to lose the track position. Looking back, that was kind of a mistake. I should have just came in and repaired that damage and just dealt with the traffic, but because I would have been a lot faster, but. I don't know. I mean, cause it's kind of just a lot of learning experiences for me. You know, it's frustrating. I mean, I know we probably honestly probably should have won the race because we were just so fast at the start of the race. I knew we were probably the fastest car, but we just we really struggled to finish off these races, and yeah, I mean, just it's kind of just been the name of the game so far.
So we head to Daytona next week. There's nothing really on the line. You're already locked into the playoffs. There's no way for you to get in top 3 in the points for any playoff points there. So what do you think you're going to do in Daytona? Do you think teamwork's going to be a big factor for you guys there, or what?
I mean, probably. I mean, I do have a little bit of confidence for Daytona because earlier this week I won a Xfinity League race there. So I mean, I mean, yeah, I definitely do have some confidence in Daytona, but that's just, I mean, you can't even predict what happens at Daytona. I mean, teamwork's definitely gonna be a big factor, like you said. I'm just gonna have to try to work with my teammates the best I can. Not sure how much they're gonna want to after the stuff I've gotten in with them the past like few races. But we'll see. And we're just gonna just kind of just make our way to the playoffs and just go from there and just try to have a good playoffs and yeah, and that's really all that counts. I mean, we've seen it with Joey Logano in real life. I mean, the playoffs is just really all that counts, and yeah, we'll just have to see what we could do and just try to go race for the championship.
All right, Bryce. Well, still nice job on the run tonight. Sorry it didn't end the way you guys wanted to. Ultimately, with a great pace in the race car, but we'll see you next week or in 2 weeks after the off week in Daytona.
Yep.
Jacob Clarino is up next. Jacob Clarino, another solid Cup Series day for you guys. You'll finish in 10th. You had top 10 speed pretty much all day long after even finishing second at Indianapolis a few races ago. So just take me through some of the highs and lows of your night. Finishing top 10 for the second straight start for you guys here in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I really wanted to back up my second place was a good finish here, but um, so got the wrong sequence of events happen with me. Thankfully, some of the good events happened to me, like me. So I was a lap down, and I was on the wrong end of my pit strategy, so I had to pit for tires. What's it called? I got my lap back. I couldn't. Hardest thing for me was getting by the 09 because I could have got by him, but he was also trying. He was also racing me hard. In the end, fell back quite a bit also, and luckily I fell back 10, didn't fall back outside the top 10. So other than that, race is pretty good. Got pretty lucky with what happened to me.
So, of course, you've had great runs all around in the Cup Series this season for your rookie year and part-time starts. It's been really, really impressive. So does that give you any confidence that you can do even better and maybe race full-time in the Cup Series soon?
For sure, I could definitely take my skills and what I have right now, put it in a full-time career. But for now, I'll continue racing part-time, and other than that, I'm just gonna continue having fun.
All right, Jacob, well, nice job finishing top 10 here at Kansas Speedway tonight, and we'll see you, of course, in the Xfinity Series at Daytona in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Next up, going to be Ashton Miller, finished 11th. Ashton Miller, not really a great day for you guys all around. You don't think you scored any stage points. You're going to finish 11th place outside the top 10. Second straight race and finished inside the top 10. So back-to-back races. You also lose spot in points to Dylan Banks, back to 5th in the standings. So it has not been a good last 2 races for you guys. Just take me through some of the struggles you guys had ultimately tonight in Kansas.
Yeah, so, lap 5, we were trying just to survive after the wreck happened when Cameron Traylor lost it. And we're coming to the pits, Pace and Lindsay just wanted to, just turn left right into me, give us 5 minutes of damage that we only didn't even get fully fixed. And then, about 100 laps later, we get ran through by Stacy. Not a good day for us. I don't know why, but every time we get close to the playoffs, every single thing that can happen just happens to us. And, it's unfortunate, but it just is what it is. It's just stupid that it had to happen this way because we were doing so well. And, we just have to get ran through by every single damn person on this track.
So of course we head to Daytona coming up. You're still, I mean, in contention for fourth in the standings. What are your thoughts on Daytona? How do you think that race is going to go all around? If you can even predict anything for that.
I don't know. Really, I am hoping that we can just get through and get it done with. Just try to, do our best. But just unfortunate it had to happen this way. But we'll try to clear our mind for Daytona if we can even race that race because might have something coming up. But yeah, just unfortunate that we have to get ran through every single race. But it's okay. Yeah, whatever.
All right, Ashton. Well, still nice job. We're on the run tonight, finishing 11th. Kind of a little bit of a rebound after running against the top 15, I think, for a majority of this race. And we'll see you next week, or in 2 weeks in Daytona.
Thanks.
Next, going to be Max DiFilippi finishes 12th. Max DiFilippi, not a bad day for you guys. Going to be a P12 finish here at Kansas Speedway. So ultimately, you guys ran pretty well. You guys inside the top 10. So what kind of confidence did you have in the race car tonight, finishing 11th or in 12th?
Yeah, we had a great car all day. Definitely helped that the Xfinity and iCar race had some pretty good days. We're running top 3. Of course, the one time you don't stream, had a great day, but Xfinity was good. So we had a good stop there early, right before the stage end, and then a caution worked out perfectly for us, which put us up there with everybody and didn't make anyone mad today. So that's a win-win, and can't wait for Daytona the next week or the week after that for both. Is iCar going to Daytona?
Yeah.
I can't wait for iCar, the Xfinity, and Cup to all go there. That'll be really fun to race in and try to compete for a win.
Yeah, so it's Daytona coming up. That's kind of evening out the entire playing field around the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. So in 2 weeks, what do you think your chances are to maybe grab one of those wins for iCar, Xfinity, and the Cup Series, of course?
Main goal, just try to stay out of the wrecks and hope that you don't have a line of, other people's teammates behind you, because they'll probably most likely not work with you. So that's one thing to focus on, and then just stay out of the drama and have fun. Get a good finish.
All right, well, Max, a nice job on the run tonight, and we'll see you in Daytona in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, next going to be Connor Asbell, finished 13th. Connor Asbell, not the flashiest night of all time, but it's 13th place in the race. You're still technically going to keep your championship hopes alive, or playoff hopes alive heading into Daytona, but ultimately you looked like you're pretty loose a few times in this race. 13th place, not bad at all. Just take me through some of the highs and lows of your night.
I was hoping for better. I mean, I went into this race being slowest out of qualifying and in practice, so I was kind of like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. Lap 1, we had that incident, and, I actually know what a brake pedal is compared to some other drivers, but, yeah, just pitted when I was almost out of fuel, got up to 6th, I believe, in the stage. Pretty good points there. And going second stage, just kind of caution fest. Then I just say it was a racing incident between me and the one car, because I kind of looked back at it. It looked like he came down a little, I came up a little, so nothing there to really say other than bummer it happened. But yeah, I know Daytona's next, and that's just going to be a 50-50 shot. I mean, desperation's going to be through the roof for a lot of people, but I'll try my best to keep out of those wrecks.
Yeah, so heading into Daytona next week, I know it's a long shot, but it's still technically possible for you guys to make the playoffs with maybe getting really good stage points and probably even winning the race. Do you think it's even a shot in your mind, or maybe you're just maybe not even focusing on that because it's so far out in front and just going for the win?
I mean, with all glory to God, anything's possible. So, yeah, it's just going to be all coming down to when that week finally shows up, because I know we got a little bit of a break. But yeah, I'm just don't really have a game plan for that race yet. I mean, if by all means, if I have to do what I have to do, I'm gonna do it with God. So yeah, I mean, oval racing's kind of been slowing down for me, and I've been slowly getting to sports car racing. So yeah, we'll see. If I can get into playoffs, then I get into the playoffs. If not, it kind of sealed the deal for my whole season together. So
All right, Connor. Well, still nice job on the race tonight, and we'll see you in Daytona.
yep, see ya.
A few more interviews to go. Next up, going to be Zane Ron, finished 16th. Zane Ron, P16. Not a terrible day for you guys. So ultimately, looked like you had an okay pace. 16th place. Just give me some of your thoughts on your run here tonight. I don't know if you heard me. All right, I guess he can't hear Zane Ron, so we will go to one more here. And we'll try again with him in a minute. Next up, going to be Ronan Suarez. Ronan Suarez, your Cup Series debut, qualified inside the top 5. So impressive. It ultimately will finish in 17th, so not an awful day all around. Finishing its P17. Just what kind of struggles did you have like later in the race after qualifying so well?
Yeah, it was definitely a car to get used to. This was a last minute decision. I got in and started doing some practice laps like 30 minutes before the race. So it was my first time with this car in track. So the first day was definitely something to get used to and to learn and stuff. Unfortunately, I just ran out of talent towards the end of the first stage and hit the wall, gave us 7 minutes of wheel damage. So that's what set us back pretty much the rest of the race. We were able to get back to the lead lap, but unfortunately, just a miscommunication on whether or not we were going to go to the green or 1 to green, and I missed the restart and got trapped a lap down. So unfortunate day for us, but I'm excited to go to Daytona in 2 weeks from now. I think it will be very, very fun for me, and I tend to do pretty well on super speedways. So,
All right, so of course, yeah, Super Speedway is coming up next in Daytona in 2 weeks after the off week. So you're going to be racing in Xfinity there. Will you be racing in the Cup race there as well?
yes, I will, and I think I might do a little bit better in the Cup car. I feel more confident in pushing and being aggressive on super speedways in that Cup car.
So obviously you're out of contention, unfortunately, for the Xfinity Series playoffs. But those both races, what do you think your shot is maybe for an upset win?
Yeah, I mean, my eyes are just set now to just show the rest of the field of what they missed what they're gonna miss in the playoffs, and try to get that win. I haven't got that win yet, so it's just something just have to focus on and hope for the best.
All right, Ryan. Well, nice job finishing the 17th here. Still had good pace on the race car, and we'll see you in Daytona after the off week.
All right, thank you.
All right, Zanerman, one more interview here to go. We'll try this again. Can you hear me this time?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, so you finished 16th tonight. Not a terrible night all around. You had some okay pace in the race car. 2 top 20s for your team at Track Speed Racing, so you're continuing to build some decent success there. Ultimately, give me some of your highs and lows of tonight's race in Kansas Speedway.
Well, Ethan, I have to be honest with you. It's been like a terrible weekend for me. I crashed out in the ARCA race, the Xfinity race, and well, I mean, I finished the Cup race today, but not well on good pace. But beginning of the race, in the beginning, I had no speed whatsoever. Car was like really hard to like control, and of course, you saw that lap 2 incident. I think it was, and then yeah, and then after stage 2, as the sun went down, I started to get some speed up. Went up to the top 10 after the lap 94 restart, so my car was flying. So I had speed then, but lap 108, Connor just didn't realize I was there on the high line. Thought he was clear, then he just turned me. So I'm gonna have a bit of a talk with him after if I can get the chance, but yeah.
All right, so of course we head to Daytona next week. I'm assuming we'll see you in or 2 weeks, I'm sorry, after the off week. I'm assuming we'll see you in all 3 races.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, so what do you think your chances there? You got a teammate, Max DiFilippi, in all 3 of them. Do you guys think you have maybe a plan working together to try to maybe pull off a victory in one of those races?
Yeah, one thing's for sure. We'll be back and we'll be plotting something else. Me and Max, we both are really good super speedway racers, so we'll have to see what's to come then. And of course, I'll be there like the week after at Las Vegas with him.
All right, Zainul, nice job. Still coming home with not a bad finish, 16th place here at Kansas Speedway, and we'll see you in 2 weeks in Daytona.
Yep, thank you.
And that will do it tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at the Daytona sorry about that. Didn't really realize that was open for a minute, but at the Kansas Speedway. Off week next week. We also have lobbies next coming up tomorrow night. Even forgot about that. So much going on here in the Cup and Xfinity Series. So of course that'll be up tomorrow night. Off week after that. And then it's Daytona, the regular season finale. Points are so close. We cannot wait to be in Daytona in 2 weeks. It all starts with iCar on Tuesday, Xfinity Wednesday, and of course, the Cup Series regular season finale on Thursday night. So that will do it in Kansas Speedway today. We hope you enjoyed. And on behalf of all team winners, commentators, drivers, officials, everybody involved in this league, what it is, we'll see you in lobbies tomorrow, but in real NASCAR iRacing FedEx League action, we'll see you on Tuesday for iCar when Daytona week kicks off for the regular season finales. Good night in Kansas Speedway.